Hey.
Gentlemen, how are you all?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Am I good now?
That
Hear
is,
yourself when you talk?
Cunt. Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear yourself when you talk?
No, I can't hear myself.
Good. I've got everything set up good then. Perfect.
Okay. You've been working on
Do
this
mine.
setup. You've been working on this setup for a little while, eh?
Yeah, man. Look, my new blue. I had a blue Yeti, but a new like black one because it looked better.
Oh,
that's
nice.
cool.
And you got it like set up on a real.
I have. I got it on the actual blue, the blue Yeti arm.
Oh, you get the whole art. What's mine? Mine's not.
Yours is blue.
It's blue as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We got the proper kit here, man.
Yeah.
I like that.
What's going on?
Not a lot. Just got back from training. Literally just stepped in the door and chilling. Catch up with you boys.
This just came up on my Instagram. I just want to show you guys this. Look at this fucking guy.
Oh, I saw that.
It's a big lad.
Yeah.
He.
Is this past weekend?
I think he's getting. I don't think he's getting the credit he's due in the Olympia conversation. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know that I've always said that about him. So fuck everyone else.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying, but I'm not saying amongst us. I mean, we all know how good Samson is, but I think amongst the bodybuilding insiders, think of Samson, but I think the circle just outside of that don't realize that Samson's coming.
Samson's top 6.
The fact that everybody's riding this Andrew Jacked guy and saying that he could be in the top 3. What? And then Samson's not getting a mention is blasphemy to me.
This is what I mean. Like, I'm not. This is no slight against Andrew Jack, so I don't care that he's getting praise because he does have a good physique. But Samson has just made such an incredible jump this year, working with Milos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where is this photo? This is a 320-pound mass monster with aesthetic shape.
Yeah,
you don't see that often.
Paul, when was the last time we saw a guy at 320 pounds in this condition?
I don't know. Even from the Arnolds, look how much he's gotten better. And that was
I know, but can you think of James, you were what, 305?
308 on my, I think, heaviest.
Yeah, James, you were in this condition too, like when you were like 305.
Yeah, but then 12 pounds goes a long way, and it
No, but listen, I'm not saying it's rare. Like you and Samson and like Ian. Like, I remember back in the day, like when I was coming up, we'd be 300 pounds, 310 pounds, but not in that kind of condition.
Right. Yeah.
So this is like, you guys are really,
I mean, he's got a 10-pound cock in there as well. So that's something.
Yeah, he does have that.
All right. He's 310.
So
Yeah, and he's not shy about telling people about it either.
No, it's Marlena that wasn't shy about it.
No, he's been a little bit more outspoken about it lately.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, Ben,
he's sorry. I was going to say he is a real threat if the trajectory he's on. Because I always look at that. Like, you look at somebody. If you look at a snapshot, that's one thing. But if you look at the trajectory of a physique from between 2 shows and where they're heading.
Well, the other thing is, Samson's got to make that push now. I mean, isn't he like 37 or 38?
It's 37, I think. I believe.
Yeah. So he's only got. Well, I shouldn't say he's only got, because everybody's got a different bodybuilding life. But most guys, when they hit 40, start to go the other way.
Yeah, I think Samson could probably go, like, he'll be one of them exceptional ones like a Dexter.
Yeah, I could see that too.
Yeah.
I could see it because his physique doesn't look 37. Like, he doesn't.
He's not tired at all.
No.
Well, he's. If you're right, like most guys, if they're pushing from when they're 18, 37, that's 19 years deep. That's a toll on the body. I think Samson's been going for 6, 7, maybe 8 years. Relatively speaking, that's not a whole lot of time.
No.
So,
Ben, do you think that matters, or James or Paul, anybody wants to answer? Do you think because I still think, even if you started, let's say you started when you were 30 instead of 20, I still think when you hit 40, you're going to start to run into some challenges. I still don't think it's only 10 years. I still think the age. I'm going to be
the controversial guy. I think it it's very genetic based, and I think if you are blessed to be of similar genetics to Samson, Dexter, basically, if you've got good black genetics, I think your lifespan as a bodybuilder does surpass that of most other people.
But it's not just black genetics, James. You, and knock on wood, have been
but I'm not going to look like, I'm not going to listen.
No,
when I'm 45, I'm going to fucking look it for one.
But wait a minute. Look at, like Branch isn't Branch like 45? He still looks great, and he's kind of retired. So like
he looks great, but he doesn't look like Dexter. Like,
I guess what I'm trying to say, James, is at 30, at 32 now, are you? How old are you, James?
33 now. Fuck.
33. So at 33 years old, you've been relatively unscathed in bodybuilding. Like you kind of
injuries.
Like you just did a backflip last year at like 300 pounds. Like,
yeah.
And again, knock on wood, not trying to jinx you, but like, I don't know, maybe you could go to 45 if you wanted to. Not that you want to, but you know,
time will tell. Time will tell.
Are you talking more like from that comment? Yeah, it seems like you're more just talking about injury based wise.
Well, I'm talking about
wear and tear.
If I step back, I'm looking at like, well, from a visual perspective, it's like, are the legs fading, right? Because that's probably the biggest thing. But then internally, is the body holding up as well, right? And that's the other thing. Yeah. So the fact that James hasn't torn everything off the bone. I remember actually when you were out. This is just a little story. We were training after the Olympia. James, you came and stayed with me. You remember? We trained a couple of times, and I'm not the Olympian, and I'm like, oh, I've got this injury, I've got that one. And I'm like, are you okay? Do you need to warm up? He's like, no, I'm all right. I'm like, do you ever have any injuries? Like, not really. No, everything's pretty good. I'm like, so wait, you do all the heavy fucking duty lifting that you do, and you don't really have too many issues that you have to. Most guys, by the time they're in their 30s, they're like, oh, hang on, I've got to roll this out. That's like, I've got to work around this, I've got to work around that. And James, which said to me, I'm good to go, man. I don't really ever have an issue. I was like, fuck me, that's impressive.
I do a lot of that's the choices that I make during my bodybuilding as well, because I do get like physiotherapy every week. You know, and I stretch as often as I can.
But I do know a lot of guys that are doing the same work, but they're still contending with an elbow issue or a shoulder or a knee issue.
I guess what I was talking about, Ben, is not just injuries, but everything. So it's all encompassing, right? So the injuries, the hormones, the internal organs and how they're holding up, how fresh they are when they do a cycle and how well the juice is still working. Like
how good the juice is,
how round the muscle looks, because like I found a period of time where I got a little bit older where no matter how many carbs I took in, I just still couldn't get that really full round look. Like me and Paul have talked about it, where like when you're 30 and you eat 800 grams of carbs, you wake up the next day and look like a fucking house. When you're 40 and you eat 800 grams of carbs, you wake up the next day and you just have a bloated stomach. Like I'm kind of encompassing all those things. And I'm wondering, if you start at 20 to 40, you have 20 years in the game. Obviously it's going to be worse. But if you start at 30 to 40, do you still start to slow down at 40, or are you just 10 years fresh? You know what I mean? Like
it's so situational, isn't it? Because it still depends on how you lived your life prior to that time in bodybuilding. Because Samson was obviously, I think, quite sporty. So he was a healthy individual. So that he's led himself into bodybuilding in a good position.
Sure.
Whereas if you was a party animal, recreational drug user, heavy smoker, and start bodybuilding, then I think that's going to show in the amount of time that you have in order to be able to do this.
Because I think of I think of Justin as well. And Justin says, you know, he wants to go past 40 and he thinks he can because he's so fresh because he's only been at it for 2 or 3 years. And I'm like, is that possible? Like, is 40 just a number and it doesn't really matter if your body's healthy and fresh?
It's almost like the mileage on a car.
Yeah.
I do think it's one of those cop-out answers. It depends. Like,
but it kind of,
it's very person. It's honestly person. It's such a fucking crapshoot otherwise.
I walked into the gym today and my mother's old boyfriend, my stepdad, Mark, was in there. Yeah. He's 50 and fuck me. I was like blown away of how he looks. I was like, he just gets better and better every fucking time I see him. So I don't know. I just think it's how you feel in yourself. And if your love for it is still there, and if you really do train in a manner that you enjoy still, I think it will reflect. Obviously, some people do get beaten by it and it breaks them down. But I think a lot of it comes down to how you feel about bodybuilding in general, because a lot of people are tired of bodybuilding generally by the time they hit 40 anyway. They're tired of the lifestyle, tired of the commitment.
I don't know if that's true, James, because I'll just speak for myself and a couple other people I know. So I think what happens is your love for bodybuilding changes, but not because you don't love it as much. It's because you're not able to do the things that you know you can do.
The response isn't the same.
Right. So like, for example,
but then that's why I feel like your training has to change.
No. I know. Right. But let's say this, for example, I'll just take myself as an example, or even take Evan, because I know Evan's talked about this.
Yeah.
When you're used to training a certain way and used to training with certain weights, and then you get to a certain age, you've had X amount of injuries, you now can't train that way. And if that's the way you love to train, then your love for bodybuilding changes, but not because your love for bodybuilding changes because you can't do it the way you want to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
That makes absolute sense.
But like if all of a sudden, James, you're used to squatting 7-8 plates, and God forbid something happened and you had to go to doing 15 rep fucking leg press, and that was your leg workout, you would still love bodybuilding, but not the same way as like get that feeling of being under the weight.
But that's where now it's going to come down to your ability to adjust, isn't it? Some people, I think the difference between some people can adjust, some people can't.
Yeah.
See, I my issue to bring it back to me and be a prick about it, but so it wasn't an example. Well, it wasn't in the gym that was limiting me. It was out of the gym that was limiting me, right? So with my kidney issues and everything like that, that was stopping me where I couldn't eat and be the weight I needed to be to train the way I wanted to train. I could still lift all the weights if if I put on 40, 50 pounds again, I'll go back in the gym and be squatting and lifting like I was. But that's on borrowed fucking time because internally things are going to start switching off on me. I could probably patch it up for 5 or 6 more years, but that's going to kick me in the ass 15 years later, 20 years later, you know? So that in that sense, and my love for bodybuilding is fucking right there. I'm still right in the mix around all you boys, and it's a kick in the fucking nuts every day. But so whilst I understand what you're saying, but like my love for it, I made the adjustments and it just couldn't happen. You know, there's a point where there's that resistance and you have to weigh it up. So
I guess it's kind of like, I think it's kind of like Jordan too, right? Like Jordan made changes for his health. It's not because he doesn't love bodybuilding, but it's because he had some limiting factors. Would that be true, or am I wrong about that?
Yeah, but I would say with Jordan, it's more from a mental health approach.
Why did Jordan like retire from competitive bodybuilding? What was his main reason?
I think it's just unnecessary pressure on oneself to be something, and it's just not required right now. Like there's a lot of other development and growth that he wants to see in himself as a person, and all the while he's always focusing on that one lane of growth. It doesn't allow you to grow in other ways. So I think for him, it's just it's a total rejig to allow him to progress in other means.
So
he seems motivated.
This whole time, I thought it was health, though. It had nothing to do with his health.
No, not really. Jordan, I don't really know Jordan's health, but as far as I'm aware, he's a lot better off than a lot of people, which is probably hard for people to believe because of the size he is and the things he's done. But I'll say this: I've known Jordan very close for a long time, and I've never heard of any issues. I've never heard him come back from from a report from the doctors and be like, "James, this shit's fucked" or anything. And he's very honest.
Okay, I don't want to start any rumors. Yeah. I just didn't know.
No. Jordan is very aware of the detriment of being heavy.
Yeah.
So he's very much. The health thing is more to do with what he's seen going on in bodybuilding.
Oh, so he's being preemptive.
So it's more that he's like
proactive.
Yeah, he's preempting. Yeah. He's preempting what. The situation in current bodybuilding, the climate and what's happening to people. And now he's do you know what? I've pushed very hard. I'm very lucky to be as good as I am and as healthy as I am. So it'd be smart for me to probably take a step back and actually try and lead by example and teach my following, my people, that it's okay to do that. And it's going to be hard because you're re-identifying yourself, but it's definitely doable. So
I think Jordan is very aware of his limitations as well. And so for him to keep pushing on to what end? To turn pro, maybe turn pro.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that I had. It was like, maybe I could turn pro if no fucker turns up and I nail it. But then where do I go? And I've detracted away from my business, my coaching, for Jordan, his businesses. Yeah. Sometimes the juice isn't worth the squeeze, you know?
Yeah, calculated decision. Yeah.
When I see Jordan's posts, though, he seems to love his style of training he does now. Like he does higher rep stuff, it looks like, but he seems to love it.
Yeah, because he's motivated in improvement. So
Right, yeah.
this is what I mean by adjustment, what I said earlier. He's now chose to find a new avenue, and he's accepted that the adjustment is part of that. It took a while and it was very hard. And there was times where he's like, why don't I just go back to being comfortable? Because obviously we all know bodybuilding is comfortable. We've done it. So the hardest challenge that he said to me as a friend is that it's getting past that point of, you know, that initial teething phase where the adjustment's difficult. But now, because the goals are set and he's enjoying it, he's over that hill and it's able to just kind of feed itself and snowball along.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of us are the same in a sense, and this, you know, Ben can attest to this too. A lot of us are the same in a sense that the improvement is the attraction.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
The goal.
Like the reason I started running, I've never been a good runner. Even when I was younger, before I even started bodybuilding, I've never been a good runner. So I was like, okay, maybe I want to run. Or the reason I want to start jujitsu, same thing. I'm like, okay, well, something I don't know how to fucking do, and I can progress at it. And the same reason Ben's doing cycling and all this other stuff. So I understand Jordan's thought process that way. I guess what I was trying to say to your comment, James, about before was, I think a lot of guys still love bodybuilding, but you just have to accept at some point that you're older and you just can't do it the way you used to, or your body's just not going to look the way it used to look.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So there's some, you know, this is something. Go ahead.
Yeah, and what I'll add to that, I think some people are very right in that feeling, and I think but I think there's a small few that probably aren't right in that feeling.
I agree.
Do you know what I mean? There are a few that probably could still go.
Yep.
But don't. But then, you know, each their own. The reason they don't continue to go maybe is similar to Jordan's, where they're like, go for what? Like, you know, bodybuilding and everything that comes, you know, it encompasses and it comes with, ultimately can have an effect on you later. So you have to be wise on that front as well.
Yeah. There's a point as well, like when you're in your 20s and you haven't got the rest of your life set up yet, and bodybuilding is your one avenue, then there's less option. It's harder to step away from. When you get to the point where maybe you have other things lined up in your life, like, you know, Jordan has his businesses and other things that are thriving, then you might go, well, that's not my only, I don't have to pursue this for a career and for this and that, you know, because we get into it initially because we love it. Then we learn that, fuck, it's like, I don't want to work. I want to do this. I want to get paid doing this. So we all think this thing like 10, 15 years ago, well, turn pro, earn money, right? Turn pro means a contract immediately, which now, not the fucking case.
Not the case.
But it was. But when we all started, that was the case, right? That was you turn pro. Like I remember Luke turned pro. The next morning he woke up and he had 4 emails from 4 different sponsors.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's literally how it used to be. So I think
we should preface that a little bit.
If you're good enough.
Yeah.
Not for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. Luke had 4
if you're a
emails.
wank pro.
Okay, well, hang on. Let me stipulate. This was when it was with James as well turned. It was 1 pro card in the whole country for the overall, not your weight class, not 2 per weight class. Like, so no, what I mean is when like Luke's pro card was like a legit, it was like you were you were ready to rock and roll. You were ready to rock and roll.
What I'm trying to say is it's pre 2008, post 2008.
Yeah.
Pre 2008, almost every bodybuilder got something when they turned pro. If you were even like had potential, you got something. Yeah. After 2008, you had to be like, okay, this guy's going to be really good. Yeah.
Agreed.
So just to preface that, so people don't think, okay, I'm going to turn pro and get a bunch of money, because it's just not. Yeah.
No, I'm saying that that's definitely not the case.
Yeah.
Like, it really isn't.
So Samson's 37, could be on the Olympia stage. We got you brought up Andrew Jacked. He's also, I believe, like 37.
About the same age.
Yeah. And James,
he's doing Texas.
He's doing Texas, yeah.
Next week.
Yeah, next week. Yeah,
I actually saw him in person last week in Vegas.
It's impressive.
In the gym. Yes and no.
Yes, from the front, no from the back.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't stripped down. He was just training in a tank, and it's like there's a big frame to fill. And when I'm looking at the likes of, say, yes, impressive in isolate on his own, right? But
Yeah.
the chatter at the minute is Olympia, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
what the fuck are you talking about? Like, there is
That
such a
always
big
happens.
gap. There's such a big gap between even doing well at pro show and
Mm-hmm.
the top boys at the Olympia. Like, there is a fucking
People-
huge gap there.
Huge,
People
huge
love,
jump.
but people love to do that though. I remember back in the day when Steve Kuklo turned pro, there was so many message board comments at the time, future Mr. Olympia, future Mr. Olympia. And I remember people saying, hey, you guys throw this future Mr. Olympia thing out way too easily.
Right.
And then that person would get roasted by all the people that were saying future Mr. Olympia. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and I agreed with the guy who's like, look, you can't just say future Mr. Olympia because the guy's got a nice physique.
Right.
It takes a lot more than just everybody in the top 10 has a nice physique.
It's
Just like the other new guy.
I'm seeing this Krizo guy and this Andrew Jackson. I'm like, I appreciate the physiques in front of me, right? I get it, but the disrespect of the top 10 Olympians,
Well,
from where they're saying they're going to walk into the top 6 or walking, like I saw someone said, Rami needs to be on point because Andrew's coming. I'm like,
yeah, no,
like,
I don't
At least it's exciting seeing some fresh new blood though in the mix, you know.
that's what I think it is. I think a lot of people see new face and they're like, oh yeah, this guy's amazing, right?
Yeah.
It's
Like let's see how these guys measure
it's
up.
like buying a new pair of shoes, but once
But
they
do you
line
not-
up,
Yeah.
do you not have that anyway? Do you not have that? There's this, if you take the top 10 last year's Olympia and coming into this one, there's the new, I know that like Hunter, Nick, Ian are already kind of Olympian established, but they're the young guns hunting down. For me, that's exciting because I'm like, you've got Rami, Hadi, William and Brandon, not to be offensive, like the old guard, right?
Yeah.
They're the experienced guys. And then you've got these young kids now that are bridging that gap between kind of 8th and 5th, and they're hunting down that.
No one's disputing that there's not a ton of great stories at the Olympia already. Like, James has to make a comeback from last year. He could also be in the top 6, top 8. So like, Samson's new blood, he's going to walk in there and blow people away because they're not going to be used to seeing somebody that size with that kind of aesthetic shape. He could be top 6, top 8. So
Derek is likely to be in there.
Derek Lunsford might pop it. Like there's a ton of good stories, but I still think, and again, we talk about the periphery of the inner circle. I still think to the majority of the fans who are not in that really, really, really hardcore circle of bodybuilding, a new face is always going to be exciting. It's just it's like a new toy. Let's see what he can do.
But those two guys have a big social media following, right?
Yeah.
And it's snowballing, and you're like, from being in that inside circle, you're like, what are you guys fucking?
But I personally like it.
I like opinions, but I'm like, be fucking realistic as well.
Ben, I'm like, you know what? I'm a bodybuilder first, but I'm also a huge fan of the sport, and I actually like it. I like seeing Krizo. I'm glad Krizo switched, and I want to see. I want to see. I'm excited to see where he ends up. I'm excited to see him stand there. I want to see what his back shots look like next to the back shots of the guys at the Olympia, because that's the part. That's where he's going to struggle.
Okay, but which guys at the Olympia? Because I see a big gap between the top guys.
Any of the top 15.
Look, if you put Krizo next to Regan, right? They're similar condition. Regan is yet to like nail his condition to be grainy. And Krizo, I feel like, is the same. He's yet to nail that like really hard, dry condition. Mm-hmm. If you put Krizo next to Regan, Krizo probably beats him from the front, but Regan beats him from the back.
Oh, it can't. Regan's back is.
This is what I'm saying. So you could make that case for almost anybody you stood Krizo next to. So that's why I'm saying anybody in the Olympia lineup, like next to Rafael Brandao.
Yeah,
he's going to be bigger than him, but is he going to be more complete all around in a full circle?
But this is what I'm saying. At the Olympia level, you can't get by with 4 good body parts.
I understand that, but it's still exciting to see them plug somebody in and see what happens.
I agree. There's
no part of you, James, that's excited to see like a fresh face to see what happens, or you're too in it to be able to think that.
No, I get it. But I also get the opinion of Ben as well, because Ben's a coach on the inside who respects his athletes tremendously and other athletes and their ethic. And when names get, I suppose what Ben's doing, because he's on that side of this, he doesn't like when people come in and basically just downplay the incredible achievements of the people that are already there. which is totally understandable as well. Which from the insider's eye, totally acceptable.
100%.
And then, like you say, from the spectator's eye, yes, it is exciting also to see people and to compare and to make, you know, these crazy calls on where could they land, because that's what makes it exciting. So I think this is just all this is a perspective thing where you're currently sitting in your bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Ben's a coach. He's working with some top Olympian, has tremendous amount of respect for the achievement so far and where he wants to get to. And then obviously as a spectator, because you're a fan of bodybuilding and you like to journalize, you're all about the new guard and seeing where people the chips lay. So it's just a bit of both. So I'm a bit of both. I understand you both.
I want to make a note about the disrespect. So the way I look at it is Hunter, Nick, Ian, James, Hadi. These guys are far, I believe they're far ahead of Krizo. As far as being
my
being
name
fully
being
complete.
mentioned there doesn't need to be mentioned yet, because I've honestly, with me, like, unless I prove something this year, then my name's not even in there right now.
Okay, we'll leave you out, but I have an assumption. I have a feeling
the
that
other
you're
boys
going
are
to be
consistent. So
I have a feeling that you're going to be able to show up the way you need to this year. But okay, we'll leave your name out. Even if we look at the top 5 from last year, top 6, top 7, even, so we can throw Ian in there. I just think they're more complete than he is, because his back is really going to hurt him. So when we talk about disrespect, the way I see it is, it gives these guys a chance to prove to people why they should have more respect. So it's almost an interesting factor, right? Because everybody has all this hype. And if I was like Nick, I'd be like, okay, you can have the hype. Let's see what happens when he shows up. And then when he shows up and he doesn't even get to stand next to Nick, or he does get to stand next to Nick and Nick destroys him, that just elevates Nick. Then everybody who is Krizo's fan all of a sudden goes, oh, fuck, Nick is as spectacular as everybody says he is, or Hunter is as spectacular as everybody's. So it's so I see it from both areas, you know.
It's that same thing that you said to me. Sorry,
go ahead, Ben, first, and then Paul.
I was going to say the same thing you said to me when we were down in Houston and we went to Hunter's gym, and you had Nick and Hunter together, and you're like, I didn't realize Hunter was as big as he is. Because it's like until you see them physically next to each other, and I understand it, because if you look at someone on Instagram, you're like, holy fuck, like Dennis James, you go, fuck me, that's Mr. Olympia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then he walks out and you go, levels, right? Levels to it, which you can't get that until you have comparisons and perspective. So I understand it. I just, from my eye, I'm like, and James is right, the amount of respect I have for the fucking top 15 last year and top 10 and top 6, I'm like, it's like, what's going on here? And can we give the guy a couple of tests first before we start jamming on his ass, you know?
Paul, what were you going to say?
Yeah. No, I love the excitement of the fresh blood, and I like, people speculate, and it's part of the sport. It's part of any sport, But it's uneducated people saying stuff like, he could be 5th. It's just silly to say. You don't know. And like Ben said, until you see him compared to somebody, you don't know. Just like you can see someone in the gym that looks great, and everyone's like, "Oh, that guy should do a bodybuilding show. He probably,
part of the fun,
win everything."
Look, we do predictions.
It's part of the fun, though.
We do predictions at almost every show.
Yeah,
and most of, I don't want to say most of the time, but half the time we're wrong.
Yeah.
But part of the fun of watching the show is doing the prediction.
We've been wrong. Some of them are so wrong.
Some of them we were like really off.
I wear the fruits of those mistakes.
Yeah, you've paid the price.
You're a fucking judge. You should be getting it right. We're not. We're numpties. Don't listen to us.
I almost always get something right about it, Ben.
Yeah, almost always.
almost always.
I got a couple places right.
With that being said, like obviously, Ben has his opinion of Andrew. I believe that Andrew's probably going to walk into this show and win.
The Texas. Yeah.
Texas.
Well, I don't know. Kuklo looked pretty good in that last update he posted.
He's shredded, but he hasn't got the size. He hasn't got the size on the lats and stuff to do.
I wasn't discrediting Andrew for winning Texas. I'm not discounting that. What I'm saying is there's a large gap between winning a pro show
and then being top 5.
Walking into the Olympia, which I saw some people being like, well, he's going to push Ramy. I'm like, no, he's fucking.
No, I think Andrew's going to get to that Olympia and he'll place just inside the top 10.
I got something to say about Texas. So is Texas the only show Andrew's doing to get to the Olympia?
No, he's doing the UK Arnold with me as well.
Okay, so that's going to be equally as hard, if
That'd
not
be a
harder.
good test.
Yeah,
That'd be a harder test, probably.
No, but
He's
listen.
not.
So
I'm not saying this because James is on. I'd be very surprised if he beats James.
okay, before we get to the Arnold, I'm going to tell you this is how I think things are going to go in the next couple of weeks. If Akeem is in shape, Akeem will win Tampa.
Yes.
And Quint will go to Texas. I think Quint is better than Andrew.
I don't actually think Quint will beat Andrew.
Really?
No, really.
I think from the
No,
back,
I think Andrew's
Quint
a
is
bit
better.
denser.
Yeah, but I think Quint is more complete. I'll show you
I
some
think the
pictures.
maturity of Andrew's muscle.
Yeah.
I think Andrew's muscle is a bit more mature.
I agree from
Really?
the
Quint's
front.
crazy. I think Quint's amazing. It could go either way. But I think you're going to see a little bit more of a hardness through Andrew than you'll see in Quint, and I think it'll pay off.
The reason I don't.
This is just us having a fun prediction again, because I'm a fan of Quinton as well.
Yeah,
But we got to make some predictions. I'll go for a bet saying that Andrew can beat Quinton.
Okay, but wait. So James, from the front, I see the density that you're talking about.
Yeah,
but I also see. Hang on. On that one, I see. If we, I'm not talking about comparing him to Quint right now, but his arms are very lacking. As I keep noticing, right, every shot I see of him, I'm like, his arms are not big enough and his shoulders are not round enough.
I could kind of see that. Yeah, I mean, his arm.
If he walks on the Olympia stage next.
No, we're talking about Texas. We're talking about
Quint. No. I know. What I'm saying is, like, look at his quads and then look at his arms, right?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
There's a big gap there, right?
Yeah.
That's a problem.
So let's go more to. I think there's a back shot down here somewhere.
There was a back shot.
Checking. What'd you say? Oh, it's in the tagged photos. Okay, so if we go to the tagged photos, I think there was a posing video he did. This one. So I think so. The back looks good there, right? But then when he starts to get into it, it kind of thins out, and I think Quint's back is actually better. It's also not here. What?
Hamstrings.
Let me go back to it. Sorry, James. Let me just go back to this.
He is missing body parts.
1 second. Here, ready?
Yeah.
1 second. Watch this. Okay, so when you take that, James. Oh wait, he's shredding it. Okay, he's set now. So that's set. Now when I look at that, and then I look at Quint's back is much wider and much more developed at this point.
It's got more 3D depth to it.
Quint's legs are actually bigger, and his hamstrings are bigger.
So
I don't know.
I don't know if Quint's bigger.
All right, well, let's see. Let's go to. Well, actually, I don't either because I've never seen.
Andrew's a very large man.
You're right. I don't know. I don't know how big Andrew actually is. So
and it's quite intimidating. He's like Cedric kind of stature, you know.
Yeah, look at this, James.
Yeah, the shoulders and the
pictures
arms
look great.
They're round, but they're not as separated as Andrew.
I don't know, James.
He's got a better side leg than Andrew.
Yeah,
he's got a better everything leg than Andrew.
I think he's more complete than Andrew.
You think Andrew's legs are better from the front?
They're on par, if not. Yeah, they're no worse.
I think Quint's got better legs.
Quint's got crazy calves.
Look at wait, go back to the most muscular, the hand on hip. That Andrew does not want to stand next to that. Look at the shoulder and the arm.
No,
fuck off. Man. There's no way Andrew.
James, I think the only thing Andrew has on Quint, and I literally say, I think it's the only thing, because it's just my opinion. The only thing I think Andrew has on Quint is the conditioning, is that density.
So listen, the way I'm looking at it right now is Andrew has more of that Dorian-esque dry look. Yeah. In my opinion.
Yeah. James, what are you saying?
Or muscle.
Yeah, and then Quint has more of that poppy flex look.
Didn't we go through this before, James? You took Caucasian dry versus African shape.
Andrew's kind of got like a Caucasian dry shit.
Okay, but when we made that bet at the last time we did this bet, the African shape won. African shape won.
Well, it was time for the Caucasian dry.
Because I remember you picked John Jewett because he was Caucasian dry. And I picked, I think it was.
I'm just going to lose again live on air. I'll lose again. It's fine. But I'm going to stick. I'm going to stick with Andrew because I've trained with Andrew.
Yeah.
And I like Andrew.
Is there any bias? There's no bias here.
Yeah, he's like, I'm picking him because I like him. Okay.
I think Quinton. I don't think Quinton sucked down enough to really be in the condition that he needs to be in. But when he did do that year, which was last year, he was pilled. He wasn't as big as.
But I'm gonna tell you the difference. Dorian has learned either from Patrick or from somebody else, because I know he's been working with Patrick. And that's why Antoine looked the best he's ever looked in Chicago. He was combination of full, hard, grainy. And I think if he's learned that formula and applies it to Quint, it's going to be pretty fucking spectacular.
It's going to be spectacular. He's going to look, listen, Quint's going to look tremendous.
Here's the thing. For the thing that Quint has been missing is fixable in a short period of time, right? In terms of the peaking process and coming in dry and hard.
Yeah, fuller. Yeah,
this is crazy.
I think Andrew has body parts that are missing, and that takes.
I feel like you lot are under the mesmeration of aesthetics here.
I'm under the mesmeration of African shape.
Look at that shape. That's beautiful.
I think the aesthetics are winning you boys over.
No, okay, James. I'll ask you a question. James. James, honestly, without being biased, do you not see flaws all over the place in Andrew?
I see some flaws, but I feel like the dominating presence of Andrew. I've seen flaws in Antoine, and he beat people who you could say are more balanced top to bottom.
James, you know what?
So for me, it's like, I know bodybuilding, you don't have to be the most balanced, even though that should be the case.
I just want to clarify for people watching. I don't know Andrew Jack's physique that well. I only know from a couple posing videos. I do think the back is a lagging point. I don't know if he has a ton of lagging points, but I think the back is not up to par with the front. The reason I'm all about Quint, I've honestly I've honestly been a huge fan of Quint from the beginning. And I think his back was the only thing he needed to bring up. And I really think he brought it up this year. Because I think the conditioning can come, right? But the back development was the part that I thought was really holding him back. And it's definitely different this year. Like here, I'm going to show you.
Disclaimer for sure, because I want Quint to know, personally, I am a massive fan, and this is not me trying to say that he can't win the show. I'm only going Team Andrew because I've actually helped Andrew pose before and looked at him in the flesh, physically hands-on, which I haven't had that experience with Quinton. And I said to Andrew when I was posing him, I said, fuck me, people aren't ready for you when you're ready. Like, he blew me away, and I don't get blown away very easily.
Really, eh?
Yeah. Like, I had him doing shots like in the posing room, and I was like, you're going to be, this is when he was an amateur still. I was like, you'll be pro by next year and you'll be winning shows.
Yeah, but James,
same shit I said to Dean White when Dean White came down, Ben. Dean posed for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck me, you'll be a pro already before the end of the year.
Yeah, but James, we're going to see this with like an added 10 pounds of muscle.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Wait. Plus, you're going to have Kuklo in the mix.
Kuklo's not going to touch them two. Kuklo's not touching them two.
James, I promise you, it's not going to be an easy walk for Andrew if he does win.
Kuklo is not touching Quinton. So that's my opinion on
it's not going to be an easy walk for Andrew
James. Top two. All I'm going to say, top two are black fellas in that show.
Okay, are we making two bets now? So we're going to bet the winner, and we're going to bet on the white guy.
The white guy's coming third. I'm just saying. That's it.
Is there any other white guys doing that show? Oh, Martin Fitzwater. He's looking pretty good right now.
Because I think how cool it'll be to compare Quinton and Andrew like on stage.
Well, of course it will, because they have both.
It'd be so cool to compare.
They're both black.
Exactly. I'm just being straight to the point. It's like you had Ronnie and Flex, yeah.
James,
remember,
don't take the racism too far, dude.
Yeah.
No, it's not. 1999. First call out all the shows. Who was it?
Flex Wheeler, Ronnie Coleman.
Yes, and it's like that again.
No, it's not. This is more interesting.
Let's calm the fuck down.
No. Wait a minute. It's not the same. It's not the same at all.
Wait. Ronnie Coleman.
Wait a minute.
Let me say something.
James.
Let me say something.
It's not the same at all because Ronnie and Flex were totally different physiques. The reason Quint and Andrew are interesting is because they're different physiques, but they're both tall and wide. So it'll be interesting.
And Steve too.
Can I say something before this gets fucking...
All three of us. It's going to be great.
All the channels. Okay, look, one thing, don't be too literal, yeah? Don't be too literal.
I know.
Bodybuilders have this weird thing about being so literal when we compare people. What I mean is the excitement factor of these two incredible athletes with amazing potential and crazy world-class genetics.
I wasn't being literal. I meant the reason I think it's going to be exciting to see them next to each other is not is more so because their physiques are close to
You
looking.
weren't being literal, but my boys were being literal here because they're like,
Can I-
running. No, I don't mean literally. Come on, guys. But
Can I pose
will they
another
be in a few years?
another hypothetical?
Yeah.
Things don't go as planned for Akeem, and Akeem rocks up to Texas.
Then
Well,
free
'cause
black guys,
Yeah,
even
that
better.
changes everything
No,
too.
it won't be
better.
That'll
three
change
black
it all.
guys because Quint's going to win. If Akeem doesn't win Tampa, Quint will win Tampa. Unless Kamal wins. Unless
Who
Kamal
else
wins.
is in Tampa?
Right. Okay.
Who, by the way,
Ooh,
Kamal
I
is
saw Kamal-
51 years old. So that's crazy.
He looks
Kamal
great.
was-
He looks
Kamal I saw Kamal yesterday. He said he's 222
I don't know.
222 right now.
I'm very much in this. I just got to piss quickly.
Paul, do you think,
222?
Paul, as an IFBB pro judge, without sitting at the table, obviously, just hypothetically, do you think Quint, if he's in 100% shape, could lose to Kamal?
No.
No, you think he can
I
beat
don't.
Kamal?
Kamal, like, I judged Quint last year in Toronto.
Kamal looks
and,
pretty crazy right now, though. I just want to show you.
Does he? I just
That's
think
Kamal
that
looks
Quint's,
great.
but Quint's going to dwarf him on stage just in stature.
But what Quint
Karita
doesn't?
just
But wait a
smokes
minute,
everyone, though.
Paul.
Yeah, true.
What Quint doesn't have, Kamal has in spades, because he's very detailed and very hard.
His
Like,
back is
Right.
so complete. His
Look at
back
how-
is just
look at how dense and grainy that looks. Like, that's going to be the exact
Can I-
opposite unless Quint developed that somehow this year.
look at the back double as well.
If
There's
Quint-
another back double in there.
8
I'll
grams
back
of
that.
salt, please.
Look.
If Quint got thicker,
Like, is Quint going to have that kind of graininess? You think? You think he can
I mean,
develop
it
that?
doesn't-
in a
can't
year?
wait for it to load still. Oh, there it is. He'll definitely have some body parts on Quint. But
Camille
if
might walk away with
Quint
a win,
got
boys.
thicker, because that's what he lacked last year was thickness. I thought his frame just still needed to be filled out a little bit more. And
No.
what you said,
Well, I shouldn't say no. You're a professional judge, but I still think.
No.
I thought
no.
you said that he was coming in 10 pounds.
Paul,
Don't
you
count Kamal out. Don't count Kamal.
Paul, you're
But
kind of
you,
in and
you
out.
kicked up. You went out there for a second.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
but I don't think it was just the size for Quint. I think part of what they're waiting for is him to get a little bit grainier or a little bit harder.
A little bit more maturity, eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that was a little bit of flatness too last year and a little bit of maturity. I
Oh,
think
I
so.
see what you're saying. So you're saying if he was peaked properly, he would look more separated.
I just think I think he was flat last year. I think if he comes in fuller with an extra
Yeah.
10 pounds of muscle in the right areas, chest and back thickness. I don't know. I Kamal will definitely have him in detail and maybe even conditioning a little bit, but Quint's got a fucking impressive physique, man. And he's got that X frame going for him. And he's a big dude. That's gonna be a lot to overcome for
Okay.
a guy.
James, who's going to win Tampa? Akeem, Quint, or Kamal?
I'm
Or
going Team Kamal. I'm going
Roman,
Kamal.
Kamal.
I'm going Kamal.
Oh,
Kamal.
so that fucks
He
your
just-
Tampa.
he's only
what
doing
about
that.
Texas? What
James,
about Texas then?
no. James is only doing that because he wants to see 3 black guys compete.
I want to see 3 black guys.
James, you got a little fetish going on here, huh? Like,
I just want these incredible
Jungle fever.
genetics all on one stage.
does Janica need to be concerned? Because
Yeah.
this is.
You know my history, Ben.
All right, so Kamal. So you think Kamal's going to win Tampa? You don't really
Yeah.
think Kamal's going to win Tampa?
What? Wait.
Why not?
What? Like that's like
Because
not possible.
Akeem's a freak. That's why.
If Akeem's on,
Akeem is a freak, but what if Akeem isn't on point?
Well, I'm assuming he's going to be in shape.
Akeem is.
I'm assuming.
Akeem is on point less often than he's off.
I'm assuming
off point,
Akeem's going to be in
Point.
shape. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think Akeem at
Yeah.
95% still beats Kamal.
Oh, and you'd have to come up.
Listen,
yeah.
But Kamal's going to give him a run.
I don't
Mhm.
think so.
What's going to happen when they turn around? You're going to look at the lower body of Akeem and be like, wow. And then you'll look at the upper body of Kamal and be like, wow.
The
So then it's going to come down
hardness.
to.
Let's
So
bet
it's
on
gonna
it
be
then.
Huh?
Let's bet on it then.
I'm not betting anything.
I'm going to go. I got to go Team Kamal because I'm going Team Andrew. So I'm trying to bet on people that are outliers here.
Paul's
You're
like-
betting on the British. You got everyone that's got a British names. You're rooting for. I love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so James, who do you actually think is going to win Tampa?
I'm going to go Team Kamal for now. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it. Stick with it.
Who else is in it
You're
again?
Okay, Akeem. My top
Yeah.
5 was Quint, Akeem, Kamal, Roman, Tim, Buddhazyme.
Oh yeah, Roman too, eh?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. Come on, my pick. I'm not betting anything. Just a
Go,
friendly
go
bet.
ahead. Tell me who you think's going to win.
Okay. Akeem.
Yeah.
Quint, Kamal, Roman. I'd like to have Roman. And
You just
then
picked all my
Tim.
picks.
Was
picked
yours exact same order as that?
Well, you
Oh.
picked Akeem to win.
I picked Akeem to win.
Yeah, I said I went with Quint just as a soft spot pick, just to be
Who
different.
trains
Because the rest of the
Akeem
guys,
could.
the rest of the guys on
Or
the other
Quint, I mean.
podcast picked Akeem, and we made a $250 bet. So I went with the Quint just so I could take their money.
Oh, you actually put cash. You had a real bet. Okay.
Well, we were trying to think of a punishment, and nobody wanted to do a punishment, so we just put money on it.
Okay, I'll get on the
I
money
have a
one.
question. Who's working with Akeem this year?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Justin Miller, I think they said. Was it Justin Miller? Somebody told me on the last podcast. I can't remember what they said.
Does he switch coaches like
that
frequently?
dictates a lot for me.
Yeah, for sure. Does he switch coaches like frequently, or like he doesn't stick with the same guy, or what?
I think he's had a couple different coaches in the last couple of years,
Yeah.
but I'm sure I could be wrong. So let me see. I think it said somewhere here. I'll share it with you guys just so you can see what I'm looking at.
I just saw him in the gym with his coach. I can't remember the guy's name.
He's been keeping himself to himself, hasn't he?
Click on the tag.
Yeah,
he has. Click on the bottom left. See where it says the tag.
That's the only picture I saw of him so far.
Oh no, he's tagged himself. Okay.
Yeah, no, fuck those.
I thought there was one where
Interesting.
he had his coach. Wait, what's this?
Dave Meal Prep. No, got that.
Strong and Shapely. Who's that?
That's
David.
probably a gym.
There was one where I thought maybe I'm getting him mistaken because somebody said Justin Miller, but it could have been a different bodybuilder.
Is this
Another black guy.
Justin Miller's working with somebody that I saw the other day, but I can't think who.
Yeah,
it's
that's
the 212
why
guy.
Oh, this is it. Isn't this it? Who's a strong spirit?
Oh, that is
I don't
Justin.
know.
Yeah, Justin Miller.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I think
He's also working with that 212 gent. That one.
Kareth Bio, who I actually said
Yeah.
could
Oh, he looks good.
beat
Yeah, this is the
Keon.
guy that was.
He's doing 212.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
who
here-
else is doing 212?
Here's Akeem. So he's training Akeem. There's a good 212, but let's finish this first. So
Okay, sorry.
Ben, who's your top 5 for Tampa? Or top 3?
Top 3, Quint, Akeem, Kamal.
That's what I picked. Ben, James, you just
That was in no order. That was top 3. I didn't do.
Oh, well,
Thank
pick
you.
your order.
Top 3.
See, the thing is,
Oh, here we go. Hi.
here's the thing: Kamal can't be second.
Why?
He's either
I-
going to win or he's going to be third.
No, I disagree.
He's not going to split the two.
He definitely
the-
could split the two.
Because
I
of
don't think he can split
consistency.
the two. I think they're either going to reward the size with
No.
the two big boys, and then Kamal's going to get third.
Ben, how many
I'm
times have
going
you
to
seen?
go.
How many times have you seen a smaller guy win just because of conditioning? He can
Yeah,
easily
win.
split the two. No, but
No,
he
I'm
can easily
saying, I'm
split
saying
the
he
two.
could win. I think he could easily win. I'm leaning towards Kamal.
But I'm saying he could easily split the two. If Quint wins or Akeem wins, but somebody else is out of shape, Kamal slides in second.
Yeah, if someone's off, that could happen.
He could definitely be
Ben
second. If
doesn't
one of
think you
them.
can. Ben doesn't think you can split 2 black guys with a white guy. I'm just saying what he's thinking.
Yeah.
This podcast is gonna get me
It'd be like
canceled,
a-
you motherfuckers.
It'd be like a Oreo on stage.
Yeah.
Okay, fuck. I'm gonna go Akeem because you just can't deny a top 6 Olympian. I just don't see it. It's fucking my respect for that. It just doesn't. I can't let it go. So Akeem. Okay, fine. Fuck it. Akeem, Kamal, Quint.
That's like that could be likely because the thing I think Kamal has over Quint is the detail and the separation.
Fuck,
Yeah,
but then.
maturity.
But wait.
And the
I'm talking about disrespecting the top 6 Olympian. What about the disrespect?
Kamal has
for,
won the Mr.
for,
Olympia.
For,
I know,
for a
I
212
know.
Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, but he's
only 2
212.
years ago.
But he's 212. It doesn't count.
Yep, right. But
No, it
the
counts. I mean, like it doesn't. It's a different
No.
division now. He's moving
But
up.
Yeah.
the precedence was set by Sean when Sean did the Legion and stood next to Regan
Yeah, I know.
and Sergio. Walked
No,
away
I'm
with
saying
it.
it's okay.
And he was giving up. So hang on. Here's the thing. In terms of size, I'm just talking this through. I'm not arguing.
I know what you're saying.
If
The size doesn't
Sean
matter.
was
I get
if
it.
Sean was like 190 and Regan was 260,
I get it.
Kamal is 220. So the size discrepancy is not as much as when Sean
Well,
won.
that's why I said
I'm changing my pick. I'm changing my pick.
I'm changing my pick too.
I'm going Kamal, Akeem,
I am too.
Quinn. There.
I'm going.
Joining me now. Joining
You guys are
me
all
now.
All right, let's put some money on this. You guys are all fucking wrong.
I changed mine.
You're changing yours, Paul?
Around. Look.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
taking
going complete
Kamal?
opposite of what I had.
I love Paul. Paul's so easily influenced. He'll
I've
be
been
like,
sitting here thinking, Fouad. I've been sitting
Paul
here
be
thinking
like,
about stuff.
this guy's a pro judge, and he's that easily influenced.
That's why I'm thinking about this. Anyways, I'll tell you privately later why. Kamal first.
Why are you going to tell me privately? Tell me now.
Because I just thought of who some of the judges are on that panel, and I think what they might go with.
Oh, you know they like a certain physique.
I just think the more completeness of Kamal may be rewarded.
I don't think Quint is not complete.
I know. I'm not saying that he is.
Name an empty spot on his
saying
physique.
that he is. I'm just saying.
No, but adding conditions.
No, I'm not. Well, last year thickness. Yeah, last year I would have said thickness to that question. Just lacking a little bit of thickness.
I'll bet all three of you then.
Okay, what?
James, you got to shave your beard.
Fuck that.
James, no, I can't picture James without a beard.
I know, that's why I want to see it.
I don't know if I want to see that.
He works so hard on his beard; it's like so long and like perfect. I like.
He can't do that.
I like the taper you got, James.
He goes to the barber for it. I gotta go to the barber get my shape like that. It's like,
oh, you got that's barber done. You can tell that's very well tapered.
Yeah, you don't do that yourself, do you, James? You
No,
do
barber.
yourself?
No, barber.
Oh,
yeah, barber. Yeah,
you can't fuck with the Comic-Con look.
I know he's trying to go for the.
Yeah,
exactly. That's October,
Yeah.
so don't be fucking.
yeah.
He's in prep for two things: the Arnold or Italy, then the Arnold, and then Comic-Con.
This is
I
interesting.
bloody am.
If I beat the other three guys,
You're
and
gonna
I bet you guys the same 250, and then I lose to you, then it's a wash anyways. So I just got to make sure I pick the opposite in both podcasts, then I'll end up at 0. Or I'll beat both of you, and I'll win.
Yeah, and
I'll have $1,500.
Then you can buy a sushi for everyone this weekend.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There you go. Whoever the loser's got to buy dinner this weekend.
And not fucking think it's an all you can eat and just order boats.
Remember I did that? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Don't say where. Don't say where.
No, well, we were on a trip and
we went out for sushi.
So Fouad's like, I've got this. I'll order. So he starts ordering. And in my head, I'm like, this is like on the a la carte. This isn't all you can eat. I thought this fucking knew this, right?
I thought it was all you could eat.
The bill comes at the end. Bill comes at the end. It's like fucking, I don't know, $1,000 or some shit.
No, it was like,
oh no,
it was still bad. It was like $500 or $600. I was like, fuck. I thought it was like, the all you can eat are like $50 for dinner or whatever.
Oh, no, we had a table and they were bringing boats out. There were like 3 boats lined up on the table and everyone was just fucking digging.
I ate so much sushi that night though. There was a period where somebody, I can't remember who it was, but somebody was talking to me and I wasn't even listening. I was just I was eating sashimi. I was just putting like one after another in my mouth. Okay. Loser buys dinner, but that leaves James.
This weekend?
James, I wish you would come to these things.
Well, we'll send James
I want to. I do want to. It's annoying. Listen, I would
prepping.
fucking love to come hang around. I want to. I really do want to.
I know it sucks because you're prepping.
Yeah.
After this prep though, I'm having fucking ages off, and I'm just going to be a fat wanker and just chill out with you guys.
Well, you should come. You should come now that I travel all the time now. So we should fucking get together after you're done.
Mate, once January's here, I'm fucking just doing chill shit.
All right, let's plan a trip to Ben's January.
Perfect.
Okay. All right, so I'll buy Ben and Paul dinner. I'm going to pick Akeem. What's going on, guys? This episode is brought to you by Manscaped, and this month they have released a new set of boxers. They got 3 different styles. More importantly, they're tagless, anti-chafing, cooling, moisture wicking, and most importantly, they have a special jewel pouch for your nuts. So after all the trimming, deodorizing, making them look good, smell good, put these boxers on and you are in style. So check this out. I'm going to send you to the website. These are the 3 styles they got. These are pretty cool. I like these. These look the most comfortable though. But anyways, use code RBP, get 20% off and free shipping, or go to manscaped.com/RBP and also get the 20% off and free shipping. Check it out today, guys. Yeah. And I'll give, and James, Has to shave his beard.
No.
Don't do that to him.
What was? Oh, somebody had a good one. No, James can't do that. They said make the loser's got to grow a Fouad mohawk.
Sorry,
James
so
had-
I got to take a call for it. I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
As if I could grow that, Fouad. Come on.
I know. We'll figure it out. Okay. So if that happens though, if Kamal wins, then Akeem and Quint go on to Texas, and then it's a little different for Andrew Jackson.
Not going out. James is still going Andrew. Look, one.
Do you still think Andrew can beat Akeem and Quint?
It depends how on they are. One thing about Andrew is even when he's walking around, he's never got like this displacement of fluid. He's always dry. So the reason I have confidence in him is because he doesn't really, it's almost like he doesn't really need to peak because he's always got that dry look, which goes a long way on a pro stage.
But wait a minute. That dry look looks great in the gym, but is it the same dry look is going to look like that on stage?
Put it this way, he won't spill over ever.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Okay,
Which,
well, let's
on a good physique can make it or break it.
Let's assume Akeem, Quint, and Andrew are all in shape. Who do you pick?
Akeem wins if they're all in shape.
Okay, that's fair. I think so too, because I think Andrew and Akeem
Muscle mass
have the same weak point. But
James restored my faith in him there.
Yeah.
Akeem has the muscle mass that those boys are still trying to get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, that was with a bated breath. I was like, please don't say Andrew. If Akeem's in shape, please don't say Andrew.
I really, I love you guys, but I don't think Kamal can beat Akeem. If he's in shape, mine's a wishful, mine's a hope, and I hope Akeem brings it and wins. That's where I'm at with it. I just think if he's in shape, he's really impressive. So, okay,
yes, that side leg. Just to
no, it's okay. Go ahead.
That side leg. James has a very good side leg. I'm not kissing
not
out.
Not Akeem's side leg.
Like those side leg shots, like Rami's side leg, Akeem's side leg, James's side leg is very good from this. Like there's something to that. I just love that. I'm a fan of that when it's so deep and split all the way up, and it's beautiful when an athlete's got that on stage.
Yeah,
I saw one here somewhere yesterday when I was looking.
Because that's what I like about James's leg. It's like look, the fuck, it's like a horse. That's like a fucking horse leg back there.
It's a good fucking leg.
Yeah,
that to me. That's hard to stand next to that. And as good as Andrew might be, he does not have that depth of muscularity through the left side.
No, that's why I think Akeem would propose more of a challenge than Quint.
Yeah, I mean for sure. Yeah.
So potentially
is a different.
So potentially, James, you could be competing against Andrew.
Oh, I probably will. Yeah,
because if he doesn't win Texas, he's going to have to do the Arnold.
He's doing the Arnold anyway. Yeah, he's doing it. Period.
Okay, well, I don't
have to sign up for that shit.
But I don't think Andrew can beat you or Mark Hector.
Cool.
So then, where does that leave him? Does he even get to the Olympia?
Do you know what? I don't know. All I know is that my head's down and I'm working.
No, I understand that. I know. We're just playing around.
And a good James when he said if it comes to be is very hard to beat.
I feel like if Andrew doesn't win Texas, unless he's doing one of the other European shows I don't know about, I don't think he can win the Arnold. In which case he wouldn't get to the Olympia.
Well, James is doing Italy, so if he decides to do Italy, he's fucked. If he's doing the Arnold, he can't win that. Like James, here's a question: if take you off the table, right? Say you're in first at the Arnold, or you decide to not do it for whatever reason, then you have Mark and Andrew. Who you taking?
Mark who?
Hector.
Oh, Hector. Yeah, sorry.
So who's coming second?
And then who else is doing the Arnold though? Because I can't even say
Hassan is out of the Arnold now, right?
Yeah.
He was doing it and now he's not. So I know James Johao's in the Open.
Martin,
I believe. Yeah, Martin. I believe one of the Muzi, maybe. I think if I remember rightly.
I think the most notable would be Mark Hector.
Yeah, so let's not consider that. This out of those two, if they stood side by side, Mark and Andrew, because they're both
Mark's got more of an exceptional structure. Mark's got more of an exceptional structure, but again, like I don't count people out because I've seen people not
Mark
present things as well.
Mark comes conditioned, right? Mark does getting
Very,
conditioned.
very, very I mean Caucasian condition.
Yeah, and he's bigger, and his shape beats the shit out of Andrew, right?
In ways, but in ways it doesn't as well.
Like his taper is so much like
No
he's
one's
so
got
much
the taper
more-
like Mark. Yeah, no one's got Mark's taper.
Like, look at that, Fouad. Can you pull up that shot of Mark recently where I think it's a side chest. He's wearing a tank, but
you'll see the delt popping like crazy.
The delt is just so round and developed, and that's my biggest flaw when I look at Andrew is the delt development and the arm. You know, and I think Mark.
I don't see that, Ben. I thought his shoulders looked pretty good.
Not like that.
Well, no, not that good. No, but I thought he had pretty.
That's
good
what. No. Yeah, look, all of him is pretty good. I'm being under a microscope. I'm like,
yeah.
Compared to some of these guys, they're going to get exposed. You know.
I personally don't think Andrew can beat Mark, but again, I haven't really seen Andrew in person, and I haven't seen him stand next to anybody, so I don't really know how big he is.
Yeah, Mark's more complete. Like he's got balance. But like I said earlier, it's weird because I have seen people not win shows to people that are less balanced just because of some freakiness.
Look,
so I don't know.
For sure, stranger things happened. I would just be very surprised if Andrew can beat a good on. If Mark is on, I would be very surprised if Andrew places ahead of him.
Okay, I have no doubt Mark will be on from the look of his trajectory.
Let's move on to Krizo. So how has Krizo turned pro? What's he going to do?
Is he doing Elvis Prague?
Yeah.
Oh, he's doing the EVLS.
Yeah.
Okay, so he does the Prague show. That gets his pro card.
He's going to get it because they're like promoting the shit out of him doing it.
I know. I'm just saying that gets him his pro card, right?
Oh, he's a walkthrough.
And then he's got to do the Prague pro show like the next day. Is that how it works?
I don't know if that's you should be allowed. Yeah, I would imagine so. Dean did.
Okay, so he does the Prague show, so he's got to win Prague. So we got to figure out who's doing Prague because maybe he doesn't.
I haven't seen anyone. I've not seen any like athletes sign up for Prague yet.
Okay, which is weird because isn't Prague more prize money?
Normally, the 1 year that I did it was 40K.
Yeah, for the winner, right?
Yeah.
So I thought more guys would be doing that. When is
they haven't? I don't think they've put out info on it yet because otherwise I would have possibly signed up.
When is Prague in comparison to the Arnold UK?
I don't think they've announced the exact date. I don't know.
Well,
yeah.
No, they must have done their date, sure.
They probably announced it, but they haven't advertised it. So
it's normally in
the schedule.
It's normally in November, right?
I thought I saw something. Yeah. Here we go.
I think it's on the calendar, but they haven't started promoting it yet, really.
I don't see a date.
November 15th. Oh, no, that was last year. I tell a lie.
Yeah, I see 2020.
I think there's venues and stuff.
I got it.
It's right here.
29th of October.
20. Well, this says.
Yeah, but that's the amateur.
Oh, okay.
October.
29th of October.
So it's that weekend. Last weekend in October, basically.
So where?
Oh, no, it says Rowley. I think Rowley. Well, that's just a picture of Rowley because he won. That's all. Sorry.
Yeah.
When's the Arnold? When's the date of the Arnold? James.
25th of September. So that's 1 month after.
So 1 month. Yeah, it'd be too long to wait. I don't know. Again, the same kind of situation for me as Andrew. From the front, phenomenal. From the back, not as phenomenal. But I think he's pretty.
The bicep and tricep is nutty though.
Yeah, he's got crazy arms. But I think overall from the front, like, I don't really think he's not really missing much. Like, got good lat insertions, good arms. Chest could probably be a little thicker, but legs could probably be also a little bigger, only because his arms are so big to kind of overshadow. But I mean, overall, he looks pretty complete from the front.
He's a very good bodybuilder. Let's not fucking discredit at all.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. He looks very, very good. And again, when I make these comments about front and back and all this stuff, I'm talking about compared to the Olympia guys.
Krizo?
Yeah, what do you think of Krizo, Paul?
Well, the same thing with Andrew Jack. He looks really impressive on his own, but until you see him stand next to people, it's hard to say. What show's he doing anyway? Has he announced the show that he's doing?
We were just talking about it while you're gone. He's doing Prague.
Oh, is he?
He's got to do the
big man
amateur.
show.
He's got to do the amateur, and then I think the next day is the pro. So he's got. That's how it works. So he can get his Olympia qualification.
Yeah, and when's that show?
October 29th, Ben said, I think.
Yeah, last weekend in October.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So,
sorry I had to run there.
I don't know. It's an exciting year.
Yeah, it is.
It's a very good year, very exciting year.
Yeah.
There's a lot of action. I think it's good that everybody's doing the Olympia. I think Hassan just pulled out.
No,
Only of the Arnold. Doing the Olympia.
Arnold.
He's pulled out the Arnold.
Okay, so Hassan is doing the everybody, like, is anybody pulled out yet?
Of the O?
Yeah. It's gonna be a really stacked Olympia.
Yeah.
Very.
How many guys too?
Making the top 6 is like,
I think it's gonna be
gonna be
really
rough.
It's gonna be exciting to see a lot of people, because I don't know about you, James, or like I remember when I was competing, I always had my eye on certain people. I'm like, I know if I beat that guy, that puts me up a level.
Yeah.
It makes my stock higher. So I always had certain people I had my eye on that I thought I could beat, that I wanted to get ahead of. So I think a lot of people can do that. Like some people that aren't maybe as talked about can jump ahead of a few people and really start to get mentioned more.
Like Samson.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, Samson's a big one. James can redeem himself from last year. Charles Griffin's not really talked about a lot. If he jumps ahead of like Justin Rodriguez or like, there's a lot of guys that Regan. I don't think Regan's really realized his full potential yet. He could also fucking jump a bunch of spots.
There's going to be people that were in the top 10 last year that are now not.
Well, I mean, even like
in
Raphael has been impressing me lately too. I mean, he's been posting some photos.
It's a fucking giant lineup.
Look at
like
this.
It's the best. It's the best I can. Like compared to last year's lineup, it blows it out of the water.
Like,
this will be one of the toughest ones that I can remember.
What's 131? It's 288 pounds. Look at that. I mean, he's definitely not going to be.
He never looks it, does he? He just never looks it.
But I think that's the benefit of having such good aesthetic shape, is that he doesn't ever look huge, but if you put him next to guys, then it's like he exposes them.
I think if you had more trap in that shot, it'd be more impressive.
And more tricep.
Yeah.
But he's very, very good. I just think I think a lot of people are going to make a name for themselves at the show, or a lot of people are going to try and get into the top 6 and come in out of shape because they're trying to be bigger than they're supposed to be. That could also happen.
Of course, can.
Did you go through the 212 to it?
No, I already went through all the Tampa. I went through most of the Tampa stuff in the last podcast, so I didn't want to go through all of it. I just wanted to touch on. We're mostly talking about Andrew and Krizo. I just wanted to see kind of what you guys thought about those two guys, because they've been mentioned so much lately. But the 212 is going to be good at Tampa. I think the top 6. I could be off because I don't know all the 212 guys, but Keon, Nathan Epler, Ahmad Wardani, Kareth Bio, Ricky Moughton, and Drobot are kind of the notable ones that I picked out. Not any order.
Yeah,
but
solid 212.
Yeah. You know what, we were talking about that in the circles, James, about the 212 and if it should be done away with. How do you feel about that, Paul?
We talked about this. Do we ever confirm whether or not there ever was a height cutoff at the Olympia? Not a cutoff, but 2 classes at the Olympia in the past were a short and a tall class. Wasn't it broken down that way at one time?
Was there ever a short and tall class open bodybuilding?
There's something gone wrong. I can't hear a thing.
Yeah, I've lost audio on you, Fouad. You've muted yourself.
Really?
Oh, no, you're back now. You're back now.
Oh, that's weird. I don't know, Paul. I don't know where we can find that out. I think it was always 200 and over and 200 under. I don't remember there being a height category in open body.
So Arnold and Franco was weight.
Yeah.
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 Wasn't it 202?
No, but Paul's talking about way back in the day. He was saying there was a height category, like a short and a tall.
Ah, okay.
Paul, you cut out. Paul, I can't hear you either. You're gone. You're muted. You're muted, eh? There you go.
There you
go. Yeah, you're back now.
Okay.
What were you saying?
Yeah, I thought that there was at one time a height, just like one cutoff height, and you either fell under or above it. But I tend to think that might be more relevant nowadays, so that you wouldn't have these large disparities in structure between guys. It would kind of be comparing more similar structures together.
James, what do you think of that?
Did I cut out again?
No, we got you.
I don't know why I think, because I've obviously, again, being in the circles, heard the opinion of both sides.
Yeah.
We had Frank talking, we had Flex talking, and they both have like relevant opinions. I'm just like, again, it's like I said, I feel like if you've got a crazy physique, then you can beat everybody regardless of your height. But then is that true? I don't know.
So James and Frank thought that, and I kind of feel this way to a degree. I mean, this is the purest argument is if you're good enough.
Lee kind of agreed as well.
Yeah, if you're good enough, you're good enough. And open bodybuilding is open bodybuilding, and either you're good enough or you're not. And I know a number, and I know a number of people feel that way. I personally don't feel that way, only because I think there should be other classes just so more people can compete and more people get involved and more people can identify with the bodybuilder that they like. I know there's a lot of guys like Paul, you yourself. I remember when they started 212, you loved it because there were more guys your size that you could see yourself kind of competing against if you kept going bodybuilding. Like I remember you being more excited about 212 bodybuilding than I was. Right. I was more a fan of open bodybuilding. So like, I think it draws a certain kind of person. And so for that way, I feel like it's really valuable. The only place I feel like where it could be more exciting is if they made them compete at the end of the show.
Do you know what?
Though, like for an overall.
Yeah.
No.
Do you know what?
That's a good
idea. If you do believe yourself to be that good, you can beat everybody. Then just do an open show and qualify for the Olympia Open and do it.
Yeah, but James, this is what I said in a previous debate I had with someone. There is only one Mr. Olympia. And that's
exactly. So if you want to be Mr. Olympia,
that's right.
You need to win an open show and get to the Olympia.
So what I'm saying is, for the purist argument, we already have that, right? We already have the purist argument taken care of. But for the entertainment aspect and to bring more people into the sport, we can keep the 212 because it doesn't hurt the purist aspect. You're still the best bodybuilder on earth if you're in the open class. And if you're a 212 guy who wants to be considered the best in the open class, you got to go into that class.
Exactly. That's what I think is fair enough. Then you got the option. So you have to accept that if you win the 212, you're only going to win the 212 Olympia title.
Yeah, I think.
Whereas if you want to be Mr. Olympia, even if you are a 212, you have the right to sign up for a pro show, qualify for the Olympia, and do it, and potentially win the Olympia.
Yeah.
You think is?
Go ahead.
Sorry, I said. Do you think there's a disadvantage being a smaller guy? Okay, so if you have two physiques, all things being equal, like body parts, conditioning, all that is equal on both physiques. But one guy's 6'4", one guy's 5'5". No. Is the guy who's 6'4" have a natural advantage, do you think?
No, because
that's the question.
We just saw Sean Clarita beat Regan, and Regan's like 6
foot. He said if they're carbon
copies
of each other and one is scaled up to 6'4".
Oh, yeah.
So they're identical.
Exactly. Yeah. Listen, if you had Sean Clarita's shape at 6 foot, you have Ronnie Coleman. So yes, he's going to.
That's what I'm saying.
He's going to beat the 5'4" guy.
Yeah.
So then, isn't there a disadvantage of being a shorter guy?
Yes, but that's
yes and no.
Well, wait a minute. Yes, but that's life.
Yeah, and also
I get that. I get that.
As a shorter guy, as a shorter guy, you have less road to travel to complete your physique because the frame just doesn't take as much. You know?
I just think
it seems to.
I guess what I'm trying to say is I think the way they have it set up now is perfect. They have the 212 class, so you still bring those people in. You still bring the viewers in that like to see that. You still get a good competition amongst the smaller, shorter guys. But if you want to be considered the best in the world, whether you're 4'5" or whether you're fucking 6'5", you can go into the open class and be considered the best guy in the world.
Yeah,
they have
I think
that
that's
already.
Yeah, and I think all we need now is a few more confident people to do that.
Well, this year, if you think about it, if Kamal wins, that's one. If Sean Clarita Sean Clarita is moving to the open this year, isn't he?
Well, I don't know, but if he does do the open, like I would think I would love that, just because I think it's time to test it. It's time to test.
It's too bad.
Well, I mean, if I was Sean and I already beat Sergio and Regan, why wouldn't I?
You're going to get paid more money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to see Flex do the open in the Olympia. We never got to see it.
Do you think there's more prestige in being top 10 at the Olympia, top 10 at the Olympia, or being first in the 212?
First 212 for top 10.
But let me ask
top 5.
Wait a minute.
Top 5, different story. I agree.
James, let's say you're having a conversation with someone and they say, where are you ranked in bodybuilding? If I was 8th place in the open, I could say I'm 8th in the world. If I was first place in the 212, what do I say?
You're the best 212.
Yeah, it's going to sound, if you sound first in the world on my weight limit, people will be, naturally, people will be like, oh, okay, there's a limit. I will.
That's-
That's human.
That's what I'm saying to you. So prestige wise, like, is first in the 212 more important than 8th or 6th in the Open or 10th?
Yeah. I think unless you pull off a flex where you get a legacy behind you of 7,
Mm.
then you are better off being a top 10 Open. Flex did it right because he nailed it by, dominating, which is different.
Yeah.
But for the one-off, if you had a choice,
but it's still interesting. Like, I'm going to ask Flex, what would he say?
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see where he
Because
would.
you can't say, well, most people think I'd probably be 5th if I competed in the Open. You can't say that. You got to do it to be able to be ranked.
Yeah.
So what is someone like Flex, who's so dominant and probably would be in the top 5 as an Open? What does he say in that regard? Like, you know what I mean?
What would mean more to him? What would mean more to him?
It's whether he would have rather. It's whether he would have rather the career.
No, I'm not saying what would mean more to him. I understand that the win and the legacy is probably more important than an 8th place. I'm saying socially in a conversation, what sounds more prestigious? I was 8th in the world, or I was 1st in the 212.
Yeah.
It's weird because when Flex was first 212 7 times, let's say I hear about him or I hear about Sean Ray's placements, I think that Flex is more prestigious.
Do you?
Yeah, even though Sean Ray has been 2nd.
So Sean Ray was in the top 5 a number of times.
And 2nd in 94.
Yeah. And
I would still look at Flex like he's achieved more in bodybuilding.
I don't know about that.
That's the difference. That's what I'm saying.
Listen, I don't even like Sean Ray, and I don't know about it.
But that's why it's such a good topic. It's such a good topic because it's made you actually wonder.
I think it's a legacy, like James said, seven crowns.
That's a really tough one, Paul. What do you think? You think top 5 in the Olympia? How many times was he top 5 at the Olympia? 4, 5?
I would have to look it up at least.
I know he did the Olympia like 13 times or something like that. So he must have been top 5 at least a handful of times. Mm-hmm. So you think a handful of top 5s is not as important as 1st in a 212?
I think if you're comparing careers, I would say Flex had a better career.
Let's not compare careers because it's hard.
Successful.
Listen, everybody loves Flex, so we want to say, like, of course we're going to say Flex. Let's take the names out of it. Let's just say Paul, Ben, James. If you could be 3rd place at the Olympia 5 times or 1st in the 212 5 times, what would you take?
3rd.
Well, there you go. You just said the opposite.
Podium finisher. Podium finisher Olympia with a 75 grand.
That's right.
It is.
That's a good point.
But here's the thing: if we're talking about success and money, Flex monetized his career far better.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure he did.
Like he's made way more money.
We're not talking about money. We're talking about your personal preference. Would you rather be 3rd? Would you rather be 3rd at the Olympia 5 times or 1st in the 212 5 times?
I would like that 3rd place Olympia medal 3 times or 5 times up on my shelf. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think I would take 3rd.
Would you?
Yeah, because it's like we were saying about the prestige.
Yeah,
legacy.
I know.
I was 3rd.
But you never won.
I was 3rd in the world, though. I was 3rd in the fucking world.
But you never won.
Yeah, but the 212 guy. But the 212 guy. Didn't even, wait a minute. The 212 guy did. The 212 guy didn't even compete.
Yeah, but he won his.
Yeah, but he didn't compete.
Whatever you want to
Flex
call it.
Would say the same as Paul. Flex would say the same as Paul. Being a friend of Flex's, he's a champ. You know, he's about being the champ.
I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm just being a dick.
Yeah.
No, I am as well. I'm with you, but I'm just saying, as I would Flex,
I would take the 7. I would take the 7 wins in the class that I was in.
And you know what?
We're not talking about 7, are we? We said what was it? 5 thirds or 5 wins.
I would take the win in my lane.
I think so too. In retirement, which would you look back on and maybe have, like, if you were 3rd that many years and never won, you might look back return and be like,
to be fair, yeah, Paul's got a point.
I never won.
The win.
It's like being it's like being the Denver Broncos, or it's like being the Buffalo Bills all those years.
Wait a minute. I've been on that fucking Olympia stage, and James has too.
Yeah.
And if I was fucking 3rd place,
I would have been well happy.
That's a
I know. And, you guys know better than I do.
To be considered in the like when we say, okay, who's competing this year? Hottie, Rami, Brandon. You're the bodybuilders. You're the fucking
that era.
you're the
Right.
guys. Like that's, you know, and when we talk about 212, it's kind of like, okay, who's doing 212? But really we're like,
Flex. That's it.
yeah, we're focused
Yeah.
on, you know, we're focused on Rami, Hadi, Brandon, okay, or Nick, or Hunter, and we're like,
Yeah.
those are the bodybuilders of the era. So do you want to be, and when you think of the 90s, you know, there wasn't 212 back then, but you're like, to be third, let's say you're Kevin Lavroni, you're Flex Wheeler, you're Sean Ray, you're like, you're considered the bodybuilders, right? So
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know, like,
It is a tough one. It is a tough
do
one.
you want to be considered
but-
amongst the group, or do you want to be the best in your class? Paul's
But this is what I
interesting
wonder, like, you know, if you're that guy, it is. If you're that guy looking back on your life and your history, though, are you like, man, I was right there, you know, I could see it, I could smell it, and I never quite got it? Or would you rather be the guy that'd be like, I dominated my class 7 years in a row?
Because I think in the interim, shortly after your career is over, you're probably like, fuck, I never won. But I think as you get older, like if Kevin Lavroni looks back at his career, he's probably like, fuck, you know what? I didn't win, but I was in the top 5 in the world for like 10 years straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin's probably
It's
like, I was
like-
one of the boys.
It's like if you think of if you think of Jay Cutler, people don't know
Mhm.
this, but people call Ronnie Coleman the king. But Jay Cutler was actually first or second in the world for like 11 years straight.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge accomplishment. So he can still add those second places in. You know,
And he was
like,
second to the GOAT all those years.
That's right.
Wasn't
So
like
it's
like he was second to just nobody.
And that same thing goes for Kevin Lavroni. If you're Kevin Lavroni, you're like, okay, well, Dorian Yates is probably the second best bodybuilder to ever live, or maybe the third if you include Phil Heath. So you're like, okay, I was in the top 5, but that guy's third ever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, but if you're 5'5", I would give a fuck. I'd be like, I won it
Yeah.
7 times. Suck my dick.
I think that's the thing. I think
I
none of
wouldn't-
us can, yeah. I think what it is, isn't it? Because none of us can comment because none of us are below our height. Maybe if we were in the 5 foot, 5 region, then our opinion would be a lot stronger. Like out of the 3, I don't know how tall you are, Paul, but I know that being 5'11", I can't even contemplate what it's like to be 5'5".
What's going on, brother?
Flex, you're on the podcast.
He thinks he's Guy Cisnero. Look,
You're on the podcast. I have a question for you.
Big question.
Take a piss. Go down on full flow.
Don't take a piss. Give me a second. I got a question for you.
Just 1 second.
No, I wasn't. I was go.
Do you think if you could do it all over again?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you want me to ask the question, Ben? Go ahead.
Say, what would you take? 5 or 5?
Okay. What would you take? What would you take, Flex? 5 third places in the Mr. Olympia Open class, or 5
5
wins in the 212?
5 wins, 212.
thank you. Tell him I said it.
Right? That, to me, I train to be a champion. I don't train for 5th place.
Told you.
Okay. Let me ask you a second question. When you're in a social
It is live.
setting-
Yes, it is live. He said, is it live?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. No, it's not live. I'm recording, so I can edit out whatever you want me to.
No, okay. You're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
Even if it was.
So, if you're in a social setting and somebody says, "What's your ranking in the world?" What do you say?
Well, I'd probably humbly just say, I've won the Olympia. I don't know. How would you even say, fucking, I've won the Olympia? I don't know.
Okay.
No, I pretty much would say, if I obviously think about this, right? The new circles of people I'm around, they only know me from the business aspects, you know?
Yeah.
So if I do a lot of these speaking engagements, they'll bring me on as Flex Lewis, business owner, entrepreneur, then same time 212 Mr. Olympia champion.
Okay.
But a lot of these people have never met a bodybuilder. So, whatever comes out of my mouth is their first impressions.
I see.
So again, it's kind of a new outlet that I'm breaking these different barriers. So a lot of people I meet only judge you for the muscle, right? So if you're asking me that question of what was the question again?
Where would you rank yourself? And if you're in a social setting and somebody said, "Where do you rank yourself in the world as bodybuilding?"
Humbly, I would say I won the Mr. Olympia. If I was to say it, not humbly, really undefeated, 7-time 212 Mr. Olympia.
Yeah,
I love it. All right, listen, I'll let you go do your thing. We were just having a little bit of a debate here, so I had to ask the man himself.
Not a problem. Hey, listen, for me, it's always a champion's mindset and anything I've ever done, right? So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if you're meeting people outside of the sport, they don't even know what 212 or open class is.
Yeah,
You know,
that's true.
Goes back to like weight classes in boxing, weight classes in MMA. So that's my mindset. Is more of an athlete's mentality to the weight class itself.
Yeah. Okay. I get it. Thank you, Flex. I appreciate your 5 minutes. Thank you so much, brother.
I'm actually on the way to Tampa right now. So are you heading there yourself?
Yeah, we're Ben's already there. Me and Paul are going to be there tomorrow early afternoon.
Oh, fantastic. Pause with you. Fantastic.
Are we gonna have a drink together?
You know, brunch.
Fucking Welsh. I was drinking when I was on prep.
All right. Well, I'm going to hold you. I'm going to hold you to it. We'll talk tomorrow.
If you're buying, I'm drinking.
I'm buying. We're going to have fun tomorrow.
All right, take care.
See you. Bye.
Peace, bro.
All right.
There you go.
Camp mentality, like you
I
said.
had to pull a guy, Cisternino, there just because I thought it was a really good debate. So I thought we'd ask the man himself.
So there we go.
That's interesting. I guess I've totally fucking wrong. I will take my loss.
I knew
but
Ben was right with the
Ben was right, but hearing it from Flex's mouth helped me change my mind because he's like he said, you being a champion is that important.
Mm-hmm.
You're training to win.
You want to
right?
win. Yeah.
Yeah. I would have, like Paul said, though, I would have loved to see him in the open.
Oh man, as a fan, I think we missed that.
Just because I remember Flex telling me, I'm sure he's told all of you guys the same thing, that he's held himself back for a number of years.
Yeah, I mean, like making weight.
He told me there was months at a time where he was eating like 2 or 3 meals a day because he couldn't get too big and all these other things. So I just imagine like a Flex Lewis unleashed.
Yeah.
No. See, that's the thing. He can't eat.
No, I know that, man. I know that. I'm saying if he could and left to grow, because the non-eating thing is probably gotten worse as he's gotten older. So imagine. Well,
my understanding is he's always struggled to eat. Always.
I agree with you. I'm just saying, imagine imagine Flex at 230, 225. Like,
well, even that iconic picture, he was supposedly 225, right? That black and gray with Neil was behind him.
Yeah.
That was 225 supposedly. Fuck. That's deadly.
When Flex did the Korea one, when he managed to eat up a little bit after one of the Olympias for that show, he looked nuts.
Yeah.
I think Flex Lewis in Korea one year was ridiculous.
This is the one you're talking about, I think, Ben. I know it's not the black and white one, but I think this is the same.
Yeah, it's same time because the one I'm gonna know. That's
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the same.
Look how much bigger his arms and chest and shoulders are.
Have you not seen the Korea show where he was huge?
Pound for pound, he's probably the biggest arms.
The Korea show is the one where he beat Hottie, and then they all kind of went.
No, there's another. He's done Korea twice.
Okay.
One of them is when he was bigger than the next time. The Hottie one was the one where he wasn't as big as he's been. I think the first time he did the Asian Grand Prix, he was like just fucking a unit.
Is it?
He has done open a couple times, right?
One with Jose and I always thought I forgot this guy's name. He always got a little bit shafted.
Who?
He's passed away now.
Dennis James's friend.
Where are you looking?
Fuck, it's on the tip of my tongue. This guy on the right here.
Same.
This guy. Has it popped up for you yet, Paul? Or are you on a?
Oh no. Yeah, I got it. Hang on, I just got to expand it.
I can't remember his name now, but he was phenomenal as a 212.
Yeah, I don't know who his name was.
Dennis James was helping him out. I don't know if he was fully coaching him or just. This is the second Korea show. This is Hottie here. I think this is the first one.
There's some backstage shots. Maybe it's this one. Oh, that's Olympia, isn't it? Fuck. I don't know where the picture is then, but there was this fucking back double bicep shot that was just like ridiculous.
Huh.
Anyway,
maybe he'll come out of retirement. How old is he? Do you guys know?
Well, Flex.
I think he's 37.
Probably 36, 37.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe he'll come out of retirement next year and shock everybody. I know he's not gonna, but I'm hoping. Just let me hope.
He's too busy doing Red Rock.
I
was hoping for this year, but that got.
Just let me wish.
He's retired now, isn't he? Isn't he completely retired now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about I think one of the things Ben said earlier on in our conversation that's really important is when you have nothing going for you, you almost have to make bodybuilding work.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're like, you don't have no other businesses, you have no other money coming in. You're like, it's kind of like when I left school. I left school on purpose because I'm like, okay, fuck, I have nothing going for me now. I have to make bodybuilding work. And then I kept bodybuilding till I was probably a little older than I wanted to, because I still didn't know what I was going to do. Yeah. It wasn't until I got some things going like Hostile and I got the podcast and that, and then it enabled me to go, okay, I can walk away now.
Yeah.
So.
I did a little video for the other day, and in it there was a bit where I said bodybuilding in the beginning is a lot easier to stay motivated because you're giving it so much that the amount you're applying to it is enough for you to be like, fuck, I'm working so hard, I need to keep going.
Yeah.
So, you know, the more invested you are, the easier it is to stay motivated, because you're like, I'm not going to do this for nothing. But then later in bodybuilding, when you start to see the rewards financially or business wise, that's actually when bodybuilding is a little bit harder to find the same motivation.
There's a point where I reached where I was like, I want to walk away, but I've put so much fucking time into this, I can't walk away.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that? Have you ever had that feeling, James?
I have it a lot.
Like you're so invested that even if you want to leave, you'd be like, fuck, I'd be throwing away all those years.
Yeah, and for me, it's like, because I know I haven't even, it's just as simple as an image of me on stage being my best hasn't come yet.
Yeah.
It's a simple thing. It's just a picture of a fucking shot on stage of me knowing that's exactly me at my pinnacle hasn't come yet.
You know,
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I've had this thought. I had to let it go, but there'd be times, maybe 10 weeks ago, 12 weeks ago, and I'd go and like brush my teeth at night, and I'd be looking in the mirror, and normally I'd like brush my teeth at night, and I'd be like, when it's like 285, 290, I'd be like, because I'm full of food and water, right? So at the end of the day, and I'm like brushing my teeth, I'm like, here, I'm 50 pounds lighter now, and you genuinely, like, the thought process goes through your head was like, all those times I squatted to failure, all those leg presses, all of those meals, all of that, like week in, week out with Luke and with you guys and this and that. And I'm like, it's just fading.
Where is it now?
It's just disappearing on me.
Yeah.
I know.
And it's, whew.
But I have a different outlook now. See, I was talking about when you're in it. So after retirement, I think of that, but I'm proud of it as a phase of my life that I'm genuinely proud of. But when I was in it, like I would say 36, maybe, I was like, I want to retire, but I just can't yet. It's just not, it's not time, because I have all these years invested and I still have more to do.
Yeah.
It even happened in like 2013, 2014, maybe, but it was kind of what James said, is I hadn't reached my best look. It was kind of like unfinished business. So I think when I hit 15, I felt like I won those two shows. I'm like, okay, I think that enabled me to walk away too, because I think 15 I knew was going to be my best look.
Yeah. It's always easier to walk away after a fucking win.
James is right. Well, no, because I did the Arnold in 17. I took 6th. So, but that enabled.
I think that's still a win for you, though, was it not?
I don't know if it was that deep a lineup. I didn't feel like I didn't really look good. So it wasn't even about the lineup. I didn't look good. So I was like, this fucking sucks. Yeah. But what that show enabled me to do is look back and go, okay, 15 was your best look. You've had a couple injuries since then. You're probably not going to get better. It's time to start looking for other things.
Yeah, the prime was 15. Yeah.
So I didn't want to like be one of those guys that just kept on hammering it out.
That hangs around.
Yeah. Anyway, let's do a couple questions before we go. James, if you have time, or do you got to go?
Yeah. No, I'm all right.
Ben, you got anybody to look at, or are you good?
No, good. They're good. They're in the athlete meeting.
Have you looked at Roman yet?
I'm not looking at what.
I'm not saying you're looking at him as a coach. I'm just saying, have you seen him as a friend?
No, I don't think he's landed yet.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
He's en route. He's flying in. I mean, he should be at the athlete meeting, so I'm guessing he's probably just about got here now. But it started like 15 minutes ago. So,
can you divulge any information on Keon? Is he looking good? Is he looking crazy? Or you don't want to say anything?
He's good. It's very good. It's best I've seen him.
So. Are you coaching Keon?
No. Patrick is coaching Keon, and I was here, and I said, if you need me to take a look. So when they've been doing check-ins, I've just been touching base with Patrick and letting him know what I see in person. versus through the camera, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's a big deal when Patrick trusts you as an eye. That's really that's a kind of a feather in your cap. So
It is.
Okay.
Patrick and I have a good understanding and relationship, and we know where each other's heads are at, so it works well.
Yeah, but I'm saying when you're one of the best coaches in the world.
Thank you.
And
What?
when you're one of the best coaches in the world, and you trust someone to look at your athletes, he's putting his reputation in your hands as well. So that's I think that's just a valuable thing. Okay. James, how many 5-year-olds could you fight if they came at you in bigger and bigger waves until you were overpowered? We did this with chickens.
I reckon you probably get to like the 17th wave.
17 waves.
Wait, how many's in a wave?
1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4.
No.
Oh, it's like a multiplier. It's a multiplier.
Yeah,
So it's like,
it's about the wave becomes one more than the previous.
Oh, so
you could beat
one
up
comes
17.
out,
Waves work.
and then 2 5-year-olds, and then 3 5-year-olds.
So the first one comes up, you deck him. The second one comes up, you deck those two. You're going to get past 10.
Wait a minute. Do you use the first 5-year-old to beat the shit out of the other 5-year-olds? Like, do you use them?
Use them as a weapon.
Like a nunchuck.
You can do whatever you want. Anything goes.
Yeah.
Anything goes.
Save your hands that way.
So you think you can get to 17 5-year-olds?
Yes.
Well, how much does the 5-year-old weigh roughly?
I think
Like
I could get to more. I think you could do more than 17.
50.
Dude.
No, because you got to remember, you haven't just done 17. You got to add 1,
16,
and then 2,
15.
so 3, then
Yeah, but
3
there's no
plus
break.
2 plus 1.
A
That's a lot.
There's no break in between.
James is like 300 pounds. He's tired now.
James, if
Yeah.
you did this,
Lactic acid.
If you went like this and punched right across, you just knock out 4 guys all at once. 4
Yeah,
or
but
5.
you don't do that.
it's gonna be
You don't do
5.
that 17, 18 times. He's getting tired.
It's a lot,
now.
man. It's a lot. I think you're under.
You're gonna get tired.
Yeah.
He's only
Nice to
doing
get
sets
their
of 10
soft,
to 12 as it is, right? So he's doing
I'm realistic,
a lot of
man.
sets.
I'm realistic.
17.
Because 17, and then you had
What are you
16
laughing at, Paul?
before.
Are you stoned?
No. Well, earlier, but just picturing James beating these little kids, swinging them around.
It's a lot. I'm going to do the math.
I think you could have at least 20, James, in you. No problem.
Are they black? Are they black or white?
Oh, that could be different.
No, they're stronger. They're stronger.
They're
They're
quicker.
stronger and they're stronger and faster.
Guys,
Yeah.
I had to have this conversation with somebody in the last podcast in the comments section because he called Iain a racist, and I'm like, guys, I will continue to say this till I'm blue in the face. Racism includes intent. Sorry, James. Just go ahead. How many?
Do you know how many kids I would have to get through to get to 17 waves?
How many?
153.
I think you can beat up 153
no.
5-year-olds.
I think so.
That's what you don't understand. There's 153 little
Yeah,
brats
but they're 5-year-old. They can barely walk. You just kick them over.
I
They
think
can bite. They can
Wait,
scratch.
I think you get too tired.
Yeah, no, you'll be.
They could bite. They could bite, Fouad.
Dude,
153.
imagine James headbutting a 5-year-old.
I know, but he would get
My head
tired.
will hurt after headbutting 10 of them.
They got soft skulls.
No,
You
man,
probably wouldn't
listen,
hurt that
it's
bad.
a 5-year-old. You can do this like every time. Just
Yes, but
Boink.
153 times.
If
You got
Fred lives
20.
in like the movie world,
Right. Yeah.
no,
As
I'm thinking
Godzilla.
of James' fucking 25-inch arm just smashing some 5-year-old in the face.
Listen, if I've got
But-
my katanas, different story. But then, you know,
Slice through them all.
I think it's less than you think.
I do
I
as
know.
well.
I give you
think
20,
fatigue would set in.
I think you do 20.
Whereas the chicken nuggets thing still stands. I definitely could do 175.
James says he
chicken
thinks he
nuggets.
can do 100. Do you hear that, Paul?
That's a
He
great bet.
How
thinks he can
many?
do 175.
175. Easy.
100.
I genuinely would struggle to hit 50.
Yeah, you think
We're
so?
doing this after. We'll do this after Olympia, yeah.
James,
Forget it.
me and you, when we go to Ben's house in
Wow.
January,
That would be a great
we
contest.
will
smoking.
do the
All right,
chicken nuggets.
I am
nuggets
the most
challenge.
chicken nuggets.
Listen, you
I'm
may
taking
beat
you
me.
down.
You may.
Can we go to
maybe-
Popeyes? Okay, can we do it in Popeyes?
I don't care where we do it. Maybe you can beat me, but you definitely are not going to get to 175.
I don't think so either, Jay. That's all
175
fine.
is
I wouldn't even be
Fuck
surprised if I
off.
crack 176.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
the number.
That's like 36 packs.
He's adding it.
Listen, don't underestimate me. With chicken nuggets, now they will
I keep
literally turn
hearing
to
about
dust
your
in my
eating
mouth.
prowess. I got to see this. January. We're doing
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
January.
It'll probably
How many
be.
calories
It'll probably
in one
give me. I'll probably have a heart attack because of all the saturated fat. But yes, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Our appetites will be really good because I'm dieting for the Olympia too. So we'll have that
There you go.
month after the Olympia of just like crazy appetite. What are you laughing at, Ben?
Absolutely.
Listen,
We
I'm on day
realize that.
4. I'm on day 4. Shut up. I'm doing good.
It's going to go to shit this weekend.
I know he is. me and Fouad spoke at 4 a.m. his time this morning because he wasn't asleep.
See?
What?
He's got that.
Because he's fucking
Waking up
starving. He
he's
ain't
hungry.
making it to December. He goes,
No,
he
he's
goes
not
to
making
me,
this weekend.
he goes to me, oh, I'm doing
I'm
really
allowed to
well.
have
I
a
was
cheat
like,
meal, Paul. Fuck you.
wait. I said,
Yeah, how many? One a day?
I said, how's the downsizing go? This is yesterday. He's like, oh yeah, pretty good. So what do you weigh? He's like, 254. I'm like, that's the same weight as when I saw you a month ago. Like the same weight. I'm down 13 pounds since we saw each other.
It went
a
back
month
up for a minute, and then I had to bring it back down.
is
You'll
funny.
be 250.
Yeah.
You'll be 250.
Yo-yo diet. You're like Oprah. Yo-yo diet.
Listen, motherfuckers, I promise you, I will be in photo shoot shape at the Olympia.
What?
Promise.
And then we'll spoil it with chicken
I will
nuggets
bet you
after.
motherfuckers anything. Paul, I will get both nipples pierced if I'm not in shape at the Olympia.
What do you mean by shape?
Fine
That's very
shape. Yeah,
relative
fine
word.
shape.
What does in shape mean?
Just grab him water,
Like,
boys. Just grab him
good
water.
enough shape that I will do photos with the boys.
2015 look.
I can get big. I'll be shredded. I won't be big. I'll be shredded. I won't be big. I'm
By
prefacing
December.
that now.
Okay,
December.
but so when are you going to start your diet? Because I
But
know
if I do it, you got to get your nipples pierced. Both.
Me?
again.
Yes, again.
Me?
Yes, you.
Did you
I
take it
got
out?
one. I got to take it out. That's
I don't
soon.
care.
I'm
You're
not putting
making
it back
we're
in.
making a bet. You want me to do it? You got to do it back.
What do you got to do?
I'm going to get my nipples pierced if I don't get in shape.
Both.
Both. And Ben's got to do it too.
Ben, you already do probably.
Yeah, Ben doesn't care.
Every
Yeah.
fucking pissed. I don't give a shit.
Okay, I'll do my other one, Fouad.
No, you got to do both.
Well, one I'm going to take out. You can't put it back in if you take it out.
Yes, you can. They can re-pierce it.
Can you?
Do your
Yeah.
tongue. Do your tongue.
No, never.
I have my
That's like
Eyebrow.
done.
Eyebrow. You got
Really?
to do your eyebrow.
No. I can't hide that. At least the nipple I can hide.
I know. That's why I want you to do it.
No, I got to work. No.
Nose.
I wanted you to do your tongue.
put a bullhorn
I-
like Luke used to have one like that.
I can't
Yeah.
do nothing that I can't hide.
James? Oh, James can't get in
Yeah.
on this.
You can
Okay.
get
What's
Paul
this?
can get a PA. Paul can get a PA.
What's that?
What can I get in on?
Is dick hole?
Prince Albert.
Oh,
Yeah.
his
What?
balls. His
You
balls.
hide that. Yeah. Your kids won't see that. Even your kids won't see that. You'll be fine.
Yeah, no, I'm
Your
not
wife
doing
might
that.
like it.
Oh yeah, she loved the nipple.
All right, are we good? All right, let's not bet. You're gonna lose for sure. You're gonna have to get both nipples
Me?
pierced.
I don't want to bet.
When you,
You're trying to force it on me.
No, you were trying to
Fred,
make
when
me
you
do
gonna-
something. So now we're
I,
trying to.
well,
You
I just
said-
don't believe you'll be in shape by December.
put your money where your mouth is.
I'll put money.
No, your money is your nipples.
No, no, my nipples aren't currency. I'm not. They've had
that's a fucking quote. My nipples are not currency.
They've been through enough. Leave my nipples alone.
Okay. Favorite porn star?
I don't know any.
You don't know any.
Not by name.
Favorite foot porn star? Let's preface it.
Foot
with that.
porn.
I just like, I don't know any. I haven't fucking even been in the mood to have sex for weeks.
Do you
Oh, you're
watch
diet
porn
mode?
when you're normal?
No.
Nah, I just play games. I'm fucked. I'm not a
Do you
normal
still
person.
watch porn? Ben, do you still
Sorry.
watch porn?
He was just watching porn, sorry.
Yeah, I know.
No, probably like no. I didn't really.
No.
Paul,
No,
are
I
you
used to.
fucking-
I went through a phase where I was like, when I was a teenager, I'm like, this is unhealthy. Like fucking
Well, yeah, we all went through that phase.
problem.
Well, we're still there though, Fouad.
I'm not there. You're there.
Whatever.
You are definitely there. Not me.
You are too.
No, I don't. Not like you.
Maybe not
You're
like
wor-
me. I'm not like.
You're the only 50-year-old I know that has fucking a sex problem.
What are you talking about? I have a sex problem. I'm married.
That's what I mean. I mean with your wife. I don't mean amongst other people.
I don't have a sex problem with my wife.
your
She
appetite
resolves the sex
your
problem.
appetite for sex is much higher than the normal 50-year-old.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
TRT.
I need some of what you got, man. I'm fucking like, I don't really Anabolics don't really make me horny.
Nah.
No? You know, it's interesting.
Being off gear makes my sex drive go way up.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I
Being
think once
off?
my estrogen goes up, if my estrogen increases, I'm like really randy.
Grammy. Well, yeah, but like if there's other things involved, like other than tests, then maybe it, you know, maybe it can negatively affect it. But
I don't
if
think it
it's
has
just
any.
tests,
I don't think it has anything to do with steroids. You're just hyper focused on sex.
I'm not
I think I am. I
hyper-focused
think
on
I'm a hyper focused individual.
No, Paul is.
I'm not hyper focused on. I'm not a pervert.
We
For
met
that.
me.
I'm
I didn't say you were a
hyper focused
pervert.
on sex.
I didn't say you were a pervert.
I'm not
I didn't
kind of
say
sex
that.
addict or something.
I thought you meant that's why I don't have a sex drive, because I'm hyper focused on other things.
Oh,
You could be, maybe. But
Yeah.
Paul's hyper focused
Yeah.
on sex.
I am not hyper focused on sex. That's your assessment.
That's my assessment, my professional assessment.
Right. Yeah.
Professional
Non-professional.
Doctor's
Non-professional
assessment.
assessment. I have a healthy sexual appetite. That's all.
Okay. I agree with that.
But I'm married, so.
Do you think the sport would look any different if supplements, over-the-counter ones, didn't exist? Do they really make a big difference in a physique athlete other than health supplements?
I think they just help from an adherence perspective, because we all enjoy a little pre-workout. Like, we feel like we've got a little bit of an edge with these things. Whether they really do a lot, that's debatable, but they're certainly part of the regime that we enjoy. And it's all about doing a regime you enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, I think if there was no whey protein and I just had to eat whole food all day long, I would still look better. I would look great, or maybe even better. And I think that if there was
You need a sweet treat here and there.
And I think if there was no pre-workouts, I could probably drink coffee and get enough energy to work out. I might not get the same pump. I might not have the same endurance, but I could probably obviously still get through it.
What about
So
your
it's like-
workouts though, with intros and stuff?
But this is what I mean. So
Yeah.
like, I don't think supplements are the be all end all of anything. I think they're exactly what they're called, is supplements.
Yeah.
Like, it's to help, like, make your life easier or help your workout be a little better. It's not.
Yeah. Help
So the
recover a
question
little
is,
bit.
like, would the physiques look any better
Without them?
without them, or worse without them? I don't know. I don't
I
say.
think
I don't think James is going to look worse
Right.
because he's not
Not
taking,
having a-
he's not
Right.
taking a pre-workout or is not drinking whey.
Right.
But will his
No.
life be a little bit harder? Not harder.
Yeah,
but like
will that
more-
meal before
Less convenient.
less convenient? Yeah, of course.
will that
Yeah.
meal before bed be fucking shit without yes?
Yeah, maybe
I
you got a
leave my
little bit of
protein
chocolate
powder before bed.
protein, or you're like, enjoy your chocolate
Oh.
protein or something. It's like, it
Yeah.
makes things a little bit more bearable. Or in the off season when you're fucking stuffed and you don't want to eat and you can drink a shake, it makes things a little bit easier. Or
What
if you're
about,
if
like-
you're tired and you want to go to the gym, and or maybe you didn't eat enough and you want a fucking better pump, you can take your pre-workout. It'll still help you get a pump. Like,
Yeah.
there's so
Yeah.
many reasons why you would add a supplement, but no, it's not fucking absolutely necessary by any means.
Well, protein powders never really got popular until they started making them taste better. Till like pretty much when whey came out, because milk and egg was disgusting back in the
Unless,
day.
well, you're talking way back. That's like 80s,
Yeah.
90s.
Well, I'm old for that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. Is it counterproductive to change exercise selection too often?
Huh.
I think there's merit to having a few staples,
I agree.
but
Ben?
I think for certain portions of your workout, it's definitely okay to have a bit of switch up, as long as the exercises you chose kind of emulate the same kind of response. So like they're trying to achieve the same thing.
Or complement the ones you did previously.
But like, for example, one day you do a straight arm, like a fucking pull down like Hunter's doing lately, or you do a pullover. They're both mechanically trying to work the same thing,
Yeah.
but there's nothing wrong with doing either.
Ben, what do you think? I can see the gears. turning.
Yeah, no, just trying to think the wording on it, really. I think the body adapts by repetitive exposure to the same stimulus, right? To a point.
Yeah.
But ultimately, if movement patterns are very similar, like James said, if you're rotating between hack squat and a pendulum squat 1 week to the next, then yeah. But I think if you're completely reinventing your workout every time you walk into the gym, good fucking luck.
Yeah, I think that's a bit weird.
So my thought process is, let's say I'm doing 4 exercises. My first one and last one can be different.
Yeah.
Almost every week. The middle 2 are usually always the same. So
But
if
the
I'm
movement patterns might be a fly, but you might do a cable fly or a machine fly or a dumbbell fly, right?
The last
Yeah.
one though, the last one might be different altogether though.
Sure.
So like
Okay.
the first one is like I consider my warm-up movement, and then there's got the bread and butter in the middle, which would be like if we're doing legs, would be like a leg press, hack squat, maybe a regular
compound.
squat. And then the final one to me is a blood mover, like a pump movement. So to me, that could be any isolation movement.
Yeah.
Right, like something I'm going to do high volume and just pump as much blood as I can into
Leg
the muscle.
extension or lunges or whatever.
Yeah, something that's going to drive a ton of blood. So I kind of agree with you guys. I think we're all saying the same thing. Really, is like you need to have the.
There has to be some uniform thing to actually expose the body to the same thing that it has to overcome. And that's where the growth and adaptation happens.
Imagine this, Ben. Imagine trying to do a bodybuilding diet, but every day the ingredients have to differ.
Right. Some people do that, right? Some people do that if it fits your macros. And whilst that's a nicer lifestyle to live, it doesn't yield the result.
The reason I think it's important especially for a beginner or intermediate, is it's easier to measure your progress if you're doing something similar every week. Yeah. So like if you're doing 4 exercises and 2 of them are the same every week, you can measure your progress. Okay, I'm getting stronger at this. I'm getting better at this.
I'll say this, and this goes back to like if we're talking about diets, like James just mentioned, whether it's if it fits your macros or whether people are going in and making decisions on the fly, and they're like, well, I make great progress. I'm like, okay, you're making great progress. I'm talking about optimal progress, right?
Yeah.
So what is the most optimal way? Might not be the funnest way, but the most optimal way is repeat exposure and mastering an exercise and progressing on that way. Whatever that might mean, whether it's rep rate, I don't give a shit. But if you're repeating the same thing over and over again, to the point where until the body starts to hit an upper limit for it, and then you can look to adjust and change. But a lot of people aren't ever really exhausting an exercise. They're changing things before they've truly dug it out and maximized everything they can from it. And even then, and this is a trick I do with a lot of my guys, when they hit those plateau markers and things start stalling, rather than changing an exercise, I might even just change the exercise order.
Yeah.
So I might even just move exercise 2 to exercise 4. Yeah. Now the fatigue rate is different, but I'm still getting the same So I think a lot of people are quick to change things when they don't see anything working. And, if you ask James or yourself back when you're, really pushing things, you're making great progress by really getting good and fucking strong at the basics.
Yeah.
Whatever that might be.
I did a lot of what you said just now, Ben. Like me and Paul have been training together forever. And that was the biggest thing I did. I didn't really change exercises, but I changed exercise where I placed them in the workout. That was probably the biggest change I made.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do 2 more and then we'll go. Most wasted potential in bodybuilding history. Guys who had amazing genetics but didn't make it. Vic Richards?
Oh yeah. Heard those rumors about him dying recently.
Vic Richards?
Yeah, it was not true though, was it?
No.
Yeah, it wasn't true, was it?
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely comes to mind.
Dennis Newman, not for
oh yeah, he got sick.
not on purpose, but because he wasn't able to finish.
Right.
Yeah, he did. He was great.
Justin Compton.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good one. Yeah.
I still feel that he could have been Mr. Olympia.
Me too.
I think this question's a little different though. I don't think it's about people not being able to finish. I think it's about people that just couldn't master their physique. So in that regard, I would probably go with Lionel Bayecki.
Oh yeah, fuck.
Ton of potential.
Because I think Lionel Bayecki could have been top 3 at the Olympia.
Multiple Arnold Classic winner at least.
Yeah. I'm still hoping he cracks it. I'm still here going, come on, man.
He's doing Arnold UK.
What's that, James?
He's coming to the Arnold UK, I believe.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Listen, I
hope James, if he comes in shape, you're fucked.
I hope if Lionel's watching this, he doesn't take offense to that. I've always been a huge fan of his physique. And I was like, man, if he could just get in shape, he would fucking just beat everybody.
You know who's in danger of doing that until 2 years ago? Rami.
Yeah,
Rami was that guy. He was that guy, always, and everyone was like, "Oh no, he's going to be that guy that never cracks it."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or even there's a few guys because of injuries you never saw the full potential of their physiques.
Those are like there's a plenty. Like we just named Justin Compton is a primary example of that.
Yeah.
Like Justin.
Imagine
Compton, Justin Compton's trajectory, I really think he could have been a Mr. Olympia.
I agree. Or remember Joel Stubbs? Had he not had those leg injuries, his legs would have been able to
I don't think
be
he ever
fully
would have been on
developed.
the same schedule, same list as Justin Compton.
I'm just thinking, like, what if he never had those leg injuries? Would have been able to train his legs,
but
properly.
now you're just assuming.
Yeah, but just assuming for his.
But more times than not, though, the tall guys don't ever get their legs to be huge.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the knee injury is the only reason.
Or like we were talking about earlier, we never got to see Flex Lewis fully blown out. We always had to see him, cutting down to make weight.
Yeah.
Did what was the year that Compton? It was 2017, the Arnold, where he walked out and everyone was like, "What
No.
the?"
It must have been
16.
I was.
It was before 17.
Yeah.
Okay, 16. That year when he came out, it was just that from the year before to that was like, what the fuck did he do? What did he do?
I remember one set of like pre-contest pics that he posted, and I was like, he literally reminded me of
The
that
pale ones where he's just like that.
Yeah, you remember the white buffalo or the white? Sorry, not buffalo. The white cow or bull.
Belgian blue.
Yeah,
Belgian
they
blue,
used.
yeah.
I'm like, that's what it reminded me of. I'm like,
Yeah, when he does that shot, he's just like,
look at this.
Yeah. Oh.
that's a proper off season. Done well.
Look at that. Like,
God,
that structure's ridiculous.
Imagine that on stage at this year's Olympia. Who beats it?
The quad sweep is.
I don't know.
Does anybody in this year's
the
Olympia
arms on him? That side. Where's the side tricep as well from that Arnold? The 16 Arnold. The side tricep is just.
Try and find some shots here. 1 second. Look at these look at these fucking guest posing pics.
Damn.
And even the back, like, look at that. Everything, hamstrings, back, like everything.
Deep, like you can literally put your fingers in those triceps and where the gap is.
And he turned pro really young too, didn't he? Like 21, 22 or something. He turned pro in North America.
Pretty young.
I can't. Let me see if I go Justin Compton off season.
I think it was it not a pre-show one? I thought it was on the right.
One.
Is it not that one?
That one.
Oh yeah. yeah. That's wild.
He reminds me of Jordan Peters if Jordan had more aesthetics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jordan used to do the same face and pose.
Wait. I'm gonna show you guys, blow you guys away. Watch. Look at this fucking shit.
Oh man.
Look at that.
Fuck.
Calves, hamstrings, glutes are in shape.
Glutes.
Back. Look at shoulders and arms. Like, it's just a crazy physique.
He was like Dennis Wolf 2.0.
Yeah.
Wasn't Justin a very
that's side tricep. Is that side tricep?
Where is that?
Oh, that's the 15. That's
right
the
15.
You can't get into it because he's that
Jeez. His hamstrings.
Side leg.
Jeez.
Where do you guys think? Let me go back to that more impressive shot that I found.
That's pretty impressive.
No, there's the one at the very beginning when we were looking.
That's a nice shot.
Like, where does this place
Today?
I feel like it's the top 3 Olympian.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't, man, when I look at this, I'm like, this beats Hottie, this beats Brandon, and this beats fucking Rami. I'm sorry.
Well, there you go then. That's the answer. Mr. Olympia.
I'm just saying for me personally. Like, for me personally, I don't know what you guys
me
think.
personally as well. Proportions, shape.
But if he's not stood next to him, you can't fucking say that.
Well, I think you can, though, because we've seen people that he stood next to and made look small. So you can kind of gauge what he would look like next to Hottie or next to Rami. Like
maybe.
Like, how much bigger do you think Rami is than Josh Lenarowitz?
Is he making a comeback now too?
Yeah. I think he said something about it, yeah. But like, Josh Lenarowitz was taller and bigger and probably same overall mass as Rami. Rami's probably thicker in some areas, but as a man, they're probably similar sized people. And Justin didn't have a problem with Josh Lenarowitz, I don't think, most of the time.
Justin had crazy roundness.
Justin's exceptional. I don't think people understand.
Yeah. Why did he retire? He had that shoulder injury.
I think it was. I think it had health. I think it was a health issue, but I don't know what it was.
But I would agree that's one of the biggest shames that we never got to see him.
I believe it was his stump. I might be guessing. I'm not going to guess. Anyway.
The fucking line, the line on Justin here, like in the back double when he's like that.
Yeah.
Like, that shit is so fucking big.
Yeah.
He never did
literally put a credit card in that. Yeah, he got like 8th, I think, first time.
Did he? Yeah.
That was one of Luke's favorite bodybuilders.
Yeah.
When he was in 2019, all he could actually before that it was picture of Justin. He'd always bring up, but I want to look like that. I want to look like that
For good reason. That's
Wouldn't take his name out of his mouth, but like loved him.
Is this what you're
Yeah,
talking
that's
about,
like-
James?
Yeah, look at that. Like you could literally grab that and just like
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck.
I always tell people, build your triceps if you want big arms, man. Look
Yeah,
at this
it's
tricep.
230 arms.
Look
Yeah,
at this fucking tricep.
He did a lot of
Yeah.
overhead stuff, I think.
it looks like it.
Fuck. All right, last question, and we'll
Jeez.
go. Candy, salty snacks, baked sweets, or ice cream? Rank 4. Rank the 4.
Ice cream
Salty
is the
snacks.
king.
Baked
Candy?
sweets.
Candy.
Oh,
Oh,
number
One
one.
second. No, I'm just gonna give you guys the
Oh.
4 again. 1 second. Take it
Fucking
easy.
hell, you're wrong. You're fucking wrong.
Ben's so angry.
right, let's I'm gonna write this because it's important.
Wait. Define candy because we don't have candy. Are you doing chocolate or are you doing
Candy's like chocolate,
sweets?
isn't it?
Sweets.
I love the way you
I
say
think.
chocolate. Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
All right, I'm
It's
sorry.
like
eh?
kid.
Candy is like, isn't it like jelly beans and like fucking
Yeah, okay.
Jolly
there's
Ranchers.
sweet-
Yeah,
there's
Jolly
sweets.
Ranchers.
Okay,
Yeah.
sugary
Okay,
stuff.
sweets.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
sweet stuff.
candy,
Not chocolate. Okay.
salty snacks, which I would consider like chips and
Chips.
like shit like that.
Yeah.
Pretzels, yeah.
Yeah. Baked sweets, which we probably consider cookies, brownies. We'll throw
Muffins.
chocolate into that.
Chocolate. And then ice cream.
And then ice cream.
Okay. Ice cream,
This is what movie you're in.
ice cream, baked, salty, candy.
Candy's last for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, candy's
that's
last.
beautiful.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
I eat candy like when I'm really, really full and I can't eat anymore. I'll eat some candies.
I like candy.
You stuff more in. Some Swedish berries.
Because they're little. You just like,
Yeah.
These don't count. They don't count. They're just.
I need candy for my blood sugar.
It's like Tetris. They're filling in the little gaps,
Yeah,
right?
True.
That's also why I eat ice cream last too, because you can always squeeze it in.
Yeah, I've got my stomach, and then I have an ice cream reserve stomach
Yeah,
over
yeah.
here that I can just
True,
load up.
true.
Okay, so we all
I
agree.
think maybe actually
Candy's last.
two
Yeah.
What else? Ice cream is
Um,
first for everybody.
salty sweets is salty snacks is third.
Third, yep.
I think.
Baked
Yeah.
goods is first.
Oh, I'm stuck, man. I really like Doritos. I really like Doritos.
More than
I
ice
do,
cream.
than
but
ice
how many
cream, one
Doritos
ice
do you eat
cream.
versus how much?
Ice cream.
I'm not saying more than
Yeah.
ice cream. I just don't know if it's third.
Oh, who are you gonna?
Ice
What else are
cream.
you gonna
Ice
put?
cream. What have you got in first? Ice cream.
I think. Fuck.
I got
man.
baked cookies and stuff.
You like ice cream, Fouad. You're probably
And that's donuts too. That's donuts in there.
yeah,
Donuts
cake.
Donuts count for baked goods.
Baked.
Yeah, and cake.
Oh, baked's number one. Baked's number one.
Me too, for sure.
I'm ice cream, but I have baked goods. I'm putting baked goods in my ice cream.
Yeah, well, I will combine the
Ice
two.
cream
Okay,
and my
I-
baked
The
goods.
cookie dough ice cream or
You
something.
know what I
like
love
that.
the most about this? James is dieting and he's taking this so seriously.
I thought
This is
like,
real.
working out the mathematics on it. He's like down there going, "Well, if I had that and then I had that."
I literally wrote this shit down. I literally
Oh, wait a
wrote
minute.
this shit down.
So look, I'm trying to think of my cheat meals when I eat just shit. And usually I start with chips.
Before you get into the main course,
Yeah, so like I'll eat like a bag of chips and then I'll eat
Yeah, but-
like
it's like an
I always finish with the thing I like the most.
I finish with ice
Yeah,
cream
same.
because but I don't know if I finish it because I like it the most or I finish with it because I can fit it in no matter what.
I finish with ice cream because it cools me off.
Cool down.
Because I get sweaty when I pick
After all
up.
the sweaty, yeah, the sweats.
Paul's
from the
eating it
fucking
for
food.
refreshing purposes.
I do. It cools
I'm
me
so
off
hot.
before I.
I'm
'cause-
so hot.
Because usually my binges are before bed, and I get sweaty when I binge. So I eat the ice cream to cool down my body
It's so
before I go to
refreshing.
bed.
And then you sweat
cools me
more
off.
because of this. No, it doesn't.
I love
You're
that
eating
though, because it's not even like it's like ice cream. It's not even like sorbet or something fruity. It's literally
Yeah,
like
you're eating a bunch of
more-
sugar.
it's
That's
like
cool.
milk.
Your body's gonna
But it's
heat up.
cold.
ugh.
No, it cools me off when I go to bed. It does.
I love you, man. All right,
All right.
James, you're the one dieting. I want to know what your list is. Baked goods.
So fourth is candy.
Yep.
Third is salty snacks.
Yep.
Second is ice cream. First is baked.
Ooh.
I got exact same.
I'm
Me
gonna
and Paul
go. I can't honestly.
And you
I
know
can't. I can't.
You can't pick.
I've ticked.
I
Them.
honestly
I've ticked
like-
them for what?
You're that much of a
I've
fat
ticked
kid.
them.
You can't.
What do you mean?
I've ticked these because I've ticked them because I believe them to be the right answers.
I believe it to be too. I think you're
So
right,
they get
James.
ticked.
So you're wrong because James's sheet said so. Fuck you.
Exactly.
You can't decide for it.
I can't decide, honestly, because I like
You have to.
Doritos. I like Doritos as much as I like donuts, as much as I like ice cream.
But if you had to pick
What
one
could
of the
you eat
three,
more of? What could you eat more of?
Sometimes I get 2 bags of chips at the same. Like I'll eat them all before I start. Like big bags, like not the little bags.
You're
really?
such a fat
You eat that
cunt.
much chips in one sitting?
Sometimes I'll get a bag because I can't decide on the flavor. So sometimes I'll get a bag of like Cool Ranch Doritos and a bag of like ketchup Doritos.
You must drink
See,
like a
I
liter
don't
of
eat.
water.
I don't really eat those. They're not my thing.
Oh, I love
I can
chips.
live without
Doritos
them.
are the greatest.
Yeah, they're okay, but
No, they're amazing.
you must drink a ton of water. For
You know
that
why?
after.
I think this is the problem. So when I'm watching a movie, I like to eat through the entire movie.
Yeah,
Just
So-
grazes.
because if not, you'll fall asleep.
So if
Probably.
I have chips, I can like just kind of like it keeps me occupied. Whereas if I
Yeah.
have like a bowl of ice cream, it's done in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you go get
Yeah.
another bowl of ice cream.
No, but like
and
if you
then-
grab a
Yeah.
whole, but usually I buy Ben and Jerry's and I finish the whole pint in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, who-
Yeah.
Okay, here's your mistake. You're only buying 1 pint of Ben and Jerry's.
So I'm a pig. He called me a pig because I buy 2 bags of chips and he buys 2 bags of 2 things of Ben and Jerry's. What the fuck, Ben?
Mine's got protein in it.
All right. So when we come there in January, we're having a nugget eating challenge.
A nugget off. A nug off.
What are we doing? Where are we doing the nuggets? You think it's got to be like one of these Popeyes or some shit, or is it got to be McDonald's?
No, I think it should be McDonald's.
McDonald's. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, because I want
Yeah.
the barbecue sauce. That'll help.
Ben froze.
Use condiments. You can use condiments, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
You're gonna have
Yeah.
to.
Well,
Otherwise,
it's
they're gonna
nice
get pretty
to
plain.
get-
James, how much of a limiting factor would dry nuggets put on it?
Quite a
Probably-
bit. Quite a
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you start to get full,
As
you're
long
gonna
as
need
I've
to-
got barbecue
Yeah.
sauce and maybe sweet chili, it's on.
I'm going with sweet and sour.
I'm gonna catch up. Can I join in? I'm gonna join in.
Ketchup. On
I
chicken
think we all need
nuggets?
to do it.
Ketchup
with
on
nuggets?
oh my god, ketchup on my steak,
This guy
ketchup on
puts
my
ketchup
ice
on a
cream.
steak, though. So it's-
On my
Yeah.
ice cream.
It goes with anything.
Fucking ketchup.
I think what we'll do then, what we should do is we do a record for individual consumed, but then we should do a team record as well.
Oh, that's a good.
Well,
idea.
we'll just do it at the same time, though,
Cumulative.
so that we can.
Yeah, and
would-
then add them up as well. So we've got a team record as well.
I think we order 200 nuggets each, and then we count whatever's left at the end.
We don't need 200
Yes.
each. I guarantee you, Paul.
All
And
right,
Ben,
150.
Paul and
I'll-
Ben are going to be done at 50.
Yeah, you think so?
Hey, what the fuck? I'm gonna take a shit ton of insulin, and I'm gonna
50 of
smoke
these?
all of you
Fuck
fools.
off.
You're gonna wait till you start going hypo, and you just
And we sweat like this. I'm like, can they hurry up with these nuggets? I'm like, hurry up.
How many? All right, how many bits of sushi do you think you could eat? Small sushi like salmon nigiri.
Probably 50.
Yeah, and they got carbs, more carbs than a fucking chicken nugget.
yeah.
50.
Right.
Actually, Ben's got a good appetite. I shouldn't say that. Paul, I know, has lost his appetite as he's gotten older.
You saw me eat when you were
Yeah,
at mine,
yeah, yeah.
and
Ben's got an
it's-
appetite. Yeah.
If I'm smoking, if I'm high,
The thing is,
We're getting high.
I've done
Boys, we're getting
I've
high.
done 50 before, and it wasn't easy.
I have as I gotten older.
I don't
not
think I
easy.
can do more
50
than 100.
nuggets.
I've done 50
of
before,
nuggets.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll get near 100. Here's the thing, because I'll get taste fatigue more than anything else from it. I'll just be like,
Yeah, but
"Ah."
that's why you get different sauces, so you don't get
Change the
mouth
sauces.
fatigue.
Change
Yeah.
the sauces rotation.
Yeah, but how many different types of ketchup can I get? There's only like
Yeah, you need more
Heinz,
than that.
It's spicy.
Heinz, and then I'm fucked.
You're such an idiot.
You got French's.
I think what you
I
need to
don't
do
have
actually.
I don't have the variation in my locker that you guys do. I'm a ketchup man. Maybe some
Yeah.
mayonnaise, but the mayonnaise is going to have fat in it.
Mayonnaise.
It's
Mayonnaise is
gonna
going to
be
make you
down.
more full.
Yeah, that's gonna
Who eats
slow you
mayonnaise?
down.
Too
that's,
thick.
that's what I'm saying.
Mayonnaise with nuggets.
Oh, that'd be good.
You know what might be good with nuggets is the mac sauce.
I don't know.
Anything sugary, really.
Dude, mac sauce
That's
is good with
gonna-
anything. I put mac sauce on a
Honey, put some
mac
honey in
sauce
it.
on a hot dog
But that's gonna add a lot
On a
of fat
sandwich.
to it.
Hey,
sandwich. See,
I got
Hey,
I
Paul,
got
is a hot dog a sandwich?
I guess technically.
See, he knows.
What you guys are? You had a debate about it.
Yeah, Lee Priest doesn't think it's a sandwich. I'm like, it is a sandwich. It's definitely.
What does he think it is?
I don't know. But then we said subs are a sandwich. He said no, they're not. I'm like, if you go to the Subway menu or the McDonald's menu, it says sandwiches, and then they're all.
no,
Yeah.
in England they're not called sandwiches.
Well, you guys are fucked up. Where McDonald's?
No, no.
sandwich-
What are they called?
Australia has like burgers. right?
Yeah, but where McDonald's originated is in America, and it says sandwiches, and it has all the burgers.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, but where the English language originated was fucking England. So you were wrong.
All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. All right,
brilliant.
We'll catch up with you guys next week.
Yeah, man. So I'll see you in the circles, bro.
Good talking to you, boys.
See you guys.
Peace.
See you tomorrow.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share with your friends, and like the video. And if you get a chance, check out the description for all the different links to all the different places you can find Hostile and myself. And lastly, check out hostile.com for our new line of supplements and all of our apparel and gear. Thanks again for watching.